Couple on the Western Jets side of things. Lachlan Fogarty obviously is one of the highly talked about players, so keen to see how he performs today. Darcy Casser, the last time we were out here at Rams Arena, he kicked 4 goals, I think it was, and it really impressed me with his second efforts around the footy as well. So keen to see him. A couple of other guys that I know the names of. Matthew Young from the Darley Football Club has played a couple of senior games for them in 2017, so looking forward to seeing him again. He was good in the first half in the last game we saw of the Jets, so hopefully he has another impressive performance. And on the Calder Cannons side of things, Brad Bernacki has been one of the stars for the Cannons in 2017. Looking forward to seeing how he goes, and the other one that I think we've both got a soft spot for, Crooksy.
Number 26?
Yep, number 26, Mason Fletcher. He's just walking in off the ground. Looking forward to seeing how he goes today.
Few father-sons going around as we pop them on, Tim. I'll bring you on. Welcome to the broadcast, Tim Mitchell. How are you, Tim?
Yeah, good, Crooksy. Turn off the mic, so.
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, it is. No, thanks for having me on. I can report from ground level, as we often expect out here at Rams Arena, that there is a howling breeze favouring the school end of the ground, and I guess from a Calder Cannons perspective, they need to win and win big today, but scoring is going to be seriously difficult at the Grand Boulevard end of the ground. So I would expect that the majority of goals today will be kicked to that school end, and Calder Cannons, if they're going to be any chance of potentially snatching that 8th spot and the last spot in TAC Cup finals, are going to need to score heavily when they head to that end of the ground today.
Fantastic work. We'll take our first break, be back on the other side of this for the bounce of the ball in the round 18 TAC Cup match of the day.
Essendon captain Goddard settles, and he's done it. He's slotted through the match-winning goal. Roughhead flies high across the pack and takes a classic mark. Pendlebury's leading from the front, clocking up the possessions today, and young gun Josh Dunkley is looking good in his debut match. NG, the power behind Gippsland Power. For the past 19 seasons, NG, Loy Yang B and Hazelwood has been kicking goals with Gippsland Power as major sponsor. Gippsland Power, the backyard playground of tomorrow's future stars. Go Power!
If you love your under-18s footy and want to know more about the future stars of the AFL, then check out AFL Draft Central. AFL Draft Central is the only AFL draft-focused website providing draft profiles, power rankings, video highlights, exclusive interviews and all the stats you need on the up-and-coming stars of the TAC Cup. To check them out, visit afldraftcentral.com.au. Like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter at AFL Draft Central. AFL Draft Central, proudly supporting TAC Cup Radio. Technica is an Australian company that's been importing Italian-made and European-designed cooking appliances and white goods for almost 20 years. Technica appliances are a fusion of cutting-edge technology and contemporary design, providing a high level of style and sophistication to any kitchen. This is why so many leading architects, developers, interior designers and builders use Technica appliances, because like their customers, they want the very latest in innovation and quality. Technica, proud sponsor of the Northern Knights and TAC Cup Radio. For all your workwear, head down to Cowboys Cash and Carry, Unit 1, 169 Settlement Road, Thomastown. High-vis long and short-sleeve work shirts, just $5. Expect to pay triple elsewhere. High-vis wind cheaters in fluoro, orange or yellow, just $8. Sizes all the way up to 5XL. If you mention this ad, they'll throw in a 3-pack of work socks free. Cowboys Cash and Carry, Unit 1, 169 Settlement Road, Thomastown. Proudly supporting TAC Cup Radio.
The Red Time Sport iPhone app is here and ready to download. The app allows you to listen to the different sports BPM Media broadcasts wherever you are in the world, including VFL and TAC Cup Radio and a whole lot more. You can interact with the commentary team in real time via the Red Time Sport iPhone app feedback and social networking buttons. Plus check out upcoming broadcasts. Catch up with the latest sports headlines from around the world via the Sports News button. The Red Time Sport iPhone app. Download it from the iTunes Store today. Visit bpmmedia.com.au for more details.
TAC Cup Radio has its own Facebook page. You can find it by searching for TAC Cup Radio. Like the page and be kept up to date with everything that's happening in this year's TAC Cup season. Have your say on any topic, including the best on ground and the players making their mark on the competition. You can also find the Twitter handles for our commentary team so you can interact during the match. They all love talking about the next thing in TAC Cup footy, and you can let them know your opinion. TAC Cup Radio on Facebook. Like it now. Footyprofit.com is your go-to for everything AFL online, including some of the best under-18s coverage across Australia. The site has phantom drafts, player scout reports, predictions and expert analysis on your favourite players. Footy Profit is committed to covering the AFL draft and as a key sponsor of TAC Cup Radio provides first-class analysis and opinion. Readers are flooding to footyprofit.com to stay up to date with everything they need to know about the TAC Cup and the AFL draft. It's time you found out what all the fuss is about. Visit footyprofit.com. Nixon Finance has been running in the Plenty Valley area of Greensborough for over 20 years. As your financial consultants and brokers, they specialise in all your equipment and vehicle finance needs. Home loans, business loans, commercial property loans. They deal with all the banks and get the right loan that suits your needs. Call Phil Smith during business hours on 9435 2600 or email nixonfinance@bigpond.com. On taccup.com.au and the Red Time Sport iPhone app, this is TAC Cup Radio.
Back here at Rams Arena, the Cannons have just entered the arena, led by their skipper in Brad Bernacki. The Jets have been out for a few minutes now, and Brad's in the centre, waiting for the toss, and dare I say it, an all-important toss, boys.
Very important, considering that stiff breeze coming from the north.
The Jets mean business. They've got two captains going out to toss the coin.
Allows you to dictate terms, doesn't it? If you win the toss, kick with the breeze in that first quarter, then you've got the option of dropping a couple of players behind the ball if you want the second term, bottling it up and potentially protecting a lead. Whereas if you go behind, then you've got to chase the game from that point on, and it gets pretty difficult, especially if you're in a position like the Cannons are, trying to win by a substantial margin to stay in the race for a top 8 finish.
Well, Brad Bernacki couldn't get his arm up quick enough. The coin just hit the dirt and off they went.
Does put a little bit of pressure on, though, because there's the expectation now that they've got to score with the wind. And we've seen a couple of games this year out here where the wind has been quite strong and teams haven't been able to use it effectively. So there is a little bit of pressure on the Cannons now to live up to the expectation.
And if you're the Jets, you just want to keep it on that far side of the ground as much as possible, especially in that far right pocket from our commentary position, because that's where it's going to be really difficult to score from. That's where the wind's blowing towards. So if they can suck the ball up on that far half-forward flank as much as possible and make it really difficult for the Cannons to score, they might be able to limit the damage in this first quarter and then do the damage with the breeze in the second.
All right, teams getting underway will be, I think there's a game started in Ballarat at Mars probably half an hour ago, so we'll keep an eye on those scores.
Pioneers and Rebels, I think, was the first one underway up there. Be nice and fresh up there this morning.
Not as many clipboards here today, but there's still a few out there on the outer wing. That'd be a good interview one day for the paper for you, Tim. Some of these clipboard guys, I'm interested to know why they like to be so solitary. They never like to sit near anybody.
They don't give away their secrets, Brooksy, and that's the thing. I don't know how much you get from a lot of them, but you often see them quoted in the paper as an unnamed club recruiter or
exactly like that.
A source close to the club said this. So I think they like that anonymity that they get as they sit on the side with the big coats. And
little solitary souls in their fishing chairs and their clipboards, writing down their thoughts. It's good.
Just a quarter time progress score from Mars Stadium. The Rebels have got the jump on Bendigo. 5-5-35 to the Pioneers, 2 behind. So 33-point lead for the Rebels at quarter time.
All right, players in place. We've got Tristan Sherry in ruck for the Western Jets and Jacob McNichol. Round 18 action. Take it away, Matto.
Thanks, Crooksy. as McNichol wins the tap down, sharking at his Taylor, gets a quick kick towards the half-forward flank on the outer side. Tilly chasing after it, takes it on the half volley. A chip kick inside, attacking 50, was just a little wide of its target there in Evans, and will get a boundary throw in. Forward pocket on the outer side for the Calder Cannons, kicking with a fairly strong breeze in this first term here at Rams Arena. Throw in, Bolter won his own tap out. The handball came the way of the Cannons. They've had a shot on goal and they've got it. There's a little bit of push and shove as the player gets up off the bottom of the pack.
Looked like Valasaris, I think.
It is, yep.
First game back after a stint at Coburg in the second half of the VFL season. Played the last two in the seniors after 5 games in the Development League. Kicked 6 goals in one of those Development League games, and he's a welcome inclusion here today, one of the top age players in the team for the Cannons.
NG scoreboard, 1 goal straight, 6 to the Cannons. Jets yet to score. A minute in on the Technica time clock. Sherry gets the tap down. Still dry, gets the quick handball. It's a rush kick up forward for the Western Jets. Now we've got Casa, can't quite pick it up. Comes over the back, Jets under pressure. Quick handball out. Now wrapped up in a tackle. Good work by the Cannons. They feed it out wide to Taylor. Sweeps the handball. Eventually caught and holding the ball. Western Jets get the advantage. Ends up with Casa. He's outside 50. Comes up here. Oh, luck's a fortune. Sherry runs onto it. Feeds off the handball. They get a snap on goal. It's across the face by Burris. Bouncing in the pocket, and we'll find the boundary line.
You can see already the impact that the breeze is going to have in this game. That ball was headed towards the goal square and ended up about 30 metres out from goal. The breeze probably carried it 15 or 20 metres back.
Forward pocket, northern end of the ground. Sherry gets it down to Stooldryer. Tries to get it back to Sherry. Loose footy. Caught, tackle, had one arm pinned. Umpire will come in and ball this up. We're just inside 50. Jets are going to have to make the most of every foray forward. Sherry misses the ball. They're over the top. Spills out the back. Jets. Kick to the top of the 50. Little kick forward. Man in front. Goes this way. Comes back the other. Cannons come in and mop up. Clear it beautifully. Clear it to the eastern side wing. They've got some numbers. Hands in land. He gets tackled by Hitch. It was a beauty. Co-captain today, Luke Hitch.
Just got it on the wrong side there, Dylan Lant. Left footer, and loves to swing onto that left boot, but Aidan Tilley gave it to him heading back onto the right, and obviously the Jets are able to hold the ball up from there.
Ball up on centre wing, went straight to the deck, and the umpire eventually calls for it. There's a little bit of feeling in this one early. 3.5 in on the Technica time clock. Ball centre wing, broadcast side. Ruckman flies, Sherry brought it to ground. Trying to burst his way through there was Benaki. Was able to release the handball, but it wasn't effective. Rice flicks it inboard. Here's Stooldryer, sends it towards half forward. Good mark though on the half back line by Fletcher. He goes out wide with the kick. Mark taken out there by Skidmore. Half-back flank on the outer side for the Cannons. Kicks it further afield. Mark taken here by Browning. Wants to send it inboard. It's a risky kick. Almost turns it over. Jets on hands and knees. Cannons eventually able to flick it out. High ball towards half forward. Good fist apply by the Jets defence. But it's going to come straight back in. A long booming kick is offline by Noah Bolter. And a minor score for the Calder Cannons. They're 1-1-7 on the NG scoreboard. Western Jets yet to score. 4.5 in on the Technica time clock.
Again, how strong that breeze is. Noah Bolter barely kicked that ball, and it's travelled 60 metres to hit the fence and the net behind the goal. So there's going to be some long goals kicked here today.
Ball brought back in. Jet, good mark there for the Cannons. This is Bolter again. Well, he'd like his chances.
Should have a shot, Crooksy, based on that last shot.
I'd suggest this is Noah's last chance to impress. before the game they have on the day before the grand final, the All-Stars type game.
He's done a lot right in the second half of the year, Crooksy. I think people probably had him around that second or third round mark at the midway point, but he's played himself into potential late first round calculations for the draft.
That, I'm presuming he hasn't touched it. That's a great goal, Noah Bolter.
Yeah.
Kicked that to perfection, and that is his first, the Cannons second. 2-1-13 on the NG scoreboard. 5.5 minutes in on the Technica time clock. Learnt well from his first kick, knew he didn't have to overdo it, and just found the measure. Not sure about the tactic on the goal line, but
might have been a bit of hands in the back.
For those listening and wondering what the potential machinations are ahead of that game between Gippsland Power and Murray tomorrow, we believe it's about 160 points, the swing that the Cannons need to take 8th spot in the last in TAC Cup finals.
So they've started well enough. As the Jets, Suter gets caught. Umpire looks, thinks about it, and says he'll ball it up. We're inside the centre square. Cannons, forward attacking side. Comes out the back, scrappy footy, and the umpire will have no choice but to come in and ball this up again. 13 plays 0 at this point. Blood rule. And coming off is Jacob McNichol, who's been doing the ruck work. Mason Fletcher runs in straight away to take over. Or Noah Bolter's going to come in and do the ruck work. Up against Tristan Sherry. On they come. That is Firebrace. Number 11's Firebrace Maddo. I don't think I've got him on the list. All right, let's resume action. Up they go. He's a big ruckman, Sherry. And he gets the tap down to his feet. Bolter gets the ball, but they clear it forward through Colucci, but lovely mark there, taken in defence by Karmas. Karmas on the left boot, goes out wide to that dead pocket that Tim told us about. They work it around. Bentley kicks to centre wing, kicks to a pack, front position, good mark. Soaking up a few seconds there as they get it across. Stooldryer lays off the handball, misses his target. Come back and get it is Andrews. They go backwards to go forwards. Bentley, he's tackled, dispossessed. Now the Cannons jump on it. Try to get it clear. Gets a dirty bounce. Still got the footy. Double gang tackled. And the ball will be free kick. No, balled up half forward flank on the western side of the ground. Oh, big leap, big bounce. Cannons clear. They kick inside 50. Back of the pack. And that is punched over the line by Buku Karmas. Over the boundary line, out of bounds. 8.5 minutes in, Technica time clock. 13 plays 0.
One of the players in that contest, Crooksy, Jack Evans, bottom age player at Calder, has played every game this year, which is a pretty fair effort from a guy in his first year of TAC Cup footy.
All tossed back into play, forward pocket. Firebrace up against the boundary line, just kicked it around, but it was out on the full. And a free kick will go the way of the Western Jets. In at the back pocket, Ham to take it. 2-1-13, the Calder Cannons. Plays no score yet from the Western Jets on the NG scoreboard. Ticking over the 9-minute mark on the Technica time clock. Long kick back into play, Bolter from behind. Got a claim to it. Handball out of the contest, intercepted here by Bentley. Flicks it over the top to Karmas, comes inboard with the handball. Again, it missed its target for the Western Jets. The Cannons almost have an opportunity on half forward. They're trying to work it by hand now. It's the Jets sprinting away from the contest. Is Casa will receive the 1-2. Centre wing broadcast side. Has to retreat backwards to his teammate who kicks it up towards the top of the 50-metre mark for the Jets. Oh. Almost a mark. Not completed. There's a high. The umpires missed it. That was Butters. Cannons composed on half back. Flick the handball around. Riccardi in a bit of strife. They've turned the ball over. Casa on the outside. Again goes backwards with the handball. Being stripped of it there was Mould. And it's pushed over the boundary line and out of play by Mahoney.
It's a really good call, Matty, about that speed of transition from the Jets. And although they probably weren't as clean as they'd liked coming out of defensive 50, that's clearly an area, they've done it a few times already today, where they've been able to link a few handballs together, run the ball out of their back half, and leave the Cannons in their wake.
They're not afraid to attack either at the moment from the Western Jets, considering they're kicking against the wind, which is good to see. Skidmore retreats backwards to Riccardi. His teammate was in a bit of trouble. Benaki comes in to mop up, but he's turned the ball over. Jets with an opportunity. The kick from Rudick was smothered. It's back on the deck in dispute. Trying to get it out there is Walsh. Cannons under pressure. Good tackle applied by Thar. Eventually the clearing kick from the Cannons will come straight back in because Walters collected it. High ball, top of the goal square. Mark not completed there from Sherry. Gave off the handball. Here's Casa. Wax boot to ball. Last line of defence. The Cannons take the mark. They kick it towards the outer wing. The race is on. Karmas with his head over the footy was able to trap it in. And eventually the Cannons are able to extract it, work it to the centre wing outer side, just float it over the top of the contest. Getting there is Tilly. Gives the handball off to his running teammate who puts it inside, attacking 50. Hitch under pressure from Firebrace. He's being pushed towards the boundary line on the outer side. And he'll see things over the line and out of play. 2-1-13, the Calder Cannons. Western Jets yet to score on the NG scoreboard. 11.5 minutes in on the Technica time clock.
Good work from Hitch there, because he took front position, and as soon as he did, he had to get something on that ball. If he didn't, Jesse Firebrace is lurking over the back and has a pretty easy shot on goal.
Ball to be thrown in, forward pocket, school end of the ground, or southern end of the ground. Up she goes. Oh, Velasaris read that beautifully. Read it from the throw in, grabbed it. It was cramped for a little bit of room there as well, but just kicked over the man in front of him and got through for his second goal of the morning, and that takes the Cannons on to 3-1-19. The Western Jets yet to open their account on the NG scoreboard, and the Technica time clock just ticking past 12 minutes.
Crooksy, we had him on the Calder Cannons radio show during the week, and he was saying the difference when you come back and play TAC Cup footy, having experienced that lift in speed and the lift in intensity, especially playing against a few AFL listed players at VFL level. He said he felt like a much better footballer for that experience at VFL, and shows the value of those partnerships between TAC Cup clubs and the VFL teams.
Ball back in the middle. Getting wrapped up there was Rice, and we'll get a secondary ball up in the middle of Rams Arena. Just over the halfway point of the first term, as Bolter trying to follow up the ruck work. Ball being shoveled around in the middle. Eventually comes to the outside. Firebrace flicks the handball off. And a bit of strife though in the middle. Held up here by Fogarty. Being brought to ground there was Scholl. And we'll get a ball up. Still inside the centre square. Tap goes the way of the Jets. The quick kick from Fogarty puts it into space on the half forward flank outer side. Chasing after it is Burris. Flick the handball over the top to Andrews. Centering ball to centre half forward. Thar juggled it. Enough to claim the mark. 60 from home for the Western Jets, looking for their first score of the match. High ball inside, attacking 50. Good mark taken there by Riccardi in defence. Looks to go down the outer side. Risky kick, but it pays off. Mark taken by the Cannons. And it's Pajaski on the half-back flank outer side. Winds up, uses the breeze, kicks it over the top of the contest. Everyone got an unkind bounce. Now the race is on. Cannons get there first. And Velasaris gets his third goal of the first term. And the Cannons move to 4-1-25. The Western Jets, no score on the NG scoreboard. 14.5 minutes in on the Technica time clock. And again, we see how much that breeze is being used in this term.
Well, it wasn't a pretty kick, was it, Matt? Padadsky just threw it on the boot, just went, I am hoofing this forward as far as I can get it. And then because the ball was spinning so awkwardly in the air, it bounced all sorts of ways, left the Jets defenders wondering where it was going to go next, and fell into the lap of Velasaris, who was able to kick his third.
Back in the middle. Nearing the 15-minute mark of this first quarter. It's been all Calder Cannons, but they do have the breeze. Ball comes out, dispossessed. Fire brace, spins out of the pack, gets caught. Might have got away with it, that one, and the umpire will come in and ball it up. Thought he was a bit stiff not to get holding the man in the previous play, but anyway, one comes your way, one goes the other. Ball at the bottom of the pack again. Not coming out either, and the umpire will come in and repeat. We're still inside the centre square. And up she goes. Fire brace spits it out. Taylor kicks to the top of the square. Velasaris is after it. They'll be looking for him. Again, a pack develops and the umpire will come in and ball this up again. We've got a 59 for the Cannons. Tim, working in the ruck. I didn't have him on my sheet. Might be one to find for us. Looks like a young one as the ball spits out. Fogarty underneath. Can't clear it. It's a hot footy. Cannons work it to the back of the pack now. Mould for the Western Jets. Just steadies. Looks forward. Holding the man, says the umpire. Rudick will get the free kick. Had one arm pinned. Now he plays on. Ball sits up in the air. The big men fly. Looking for a footy profit mark of the day. Gets spilt. We're on centre wing right in front of the NG scoreboard. Pushing the back, says the umpire. Jets to take the free kick. Bottom of the pack.
If they can just hold here for the next 2 or 3 minutes, the Jets, and even sneak one themselves, I think they'd be pretty content if they went in maybe 3 or 4 goals down at quarter time.
Butters sends it forward. Fletcher gets front position. Ball spills to the dirt again. Now the Cannons get some clear air. One bounce. Taken away. Onto fire brace. Thar intercepts. Looks for some help from Hitch. Nice work by Hitch. Gets it back to Thar. Comes out here looking for Sherry. Ball holds up in the breeze. Now they've got a chance through Bentley. Bentley looking for Casa. Good punch put in there. Now the Cannons. Bit of an underground pass. Oh, almost went without it. Comes back here to Browning. Kicks along the boundary line. Sherry intercepts. Sweeping hairball. Oh, they'll have to be quick. They'll have to be clean. Connor Thar gets it across to Casa. They're working in a tight space in a phone box. Now it's Mustafa kicks to centre half forward. That is a beautifully measured kick. Velasaris runs after it. Loses his feet. Comes to the ground. Might have legged him. And the free kick will go to Matthew Young.
59 Crooksy is Jacob McNichol, who's changed jumpers after going off with the blood rule. So
beautiful.
Same ruckman, just wearing a different number.
So Young on half-back for the Western Jets. They'll just try and keep possession here. Stuhl-Dry has it defensive side of the outer wing. Jets trail by 25 points, 18 goal in the first term on the Technica time clock. High ball towards the half-forward flank, came off hands. Scholl close to the boundary line. Jets just pressuring the ball forward at the moment. Eventually it will roll over the line and out of play in front of O'Halloran.
I'm assuming 25-minute quarters today, flat. They normally do like the triple headers at Ballarat. So
getting the thumbs up from
our director, and Cecil B. Spielberg, is telling us that it's 25.
And if it doesn't go at 25 minutes, he'll go around and blow the siren.
Yeah.
As the Jets on half forward, Stuhl-Dry gives the ball inboard to Young, ran into a bit of trouble but spun out beautifully. High ball, top of the goal square. Fist applied by Fletcher. Ball still in play here for the Jets. Juggling it is Butters, runs around, gets the goal.
AFL Draft Central goal of the day contender, no doubt.
Zach Butters with his first goal, and the Jets' first coming at the 19-minute mark of the first term on the Technica time clock. They are 1 straight 6. Calder 4-1-25 on the NG scoreboard.
Really big goal for the Jets at an important time as well, just to give them a bit of confidence ticking into time on in this first quarter. And didn't he do well, Butters, there? It looked like Mason Fletcher had a chance to kill the ball, came up over the contest, but wasn't able to get a strong enough fist on it to put it through for a behind. Found himself under pressure from 2 attackers, but still managed to spin around and kick the goal.
The effort just to keep the ball in play was just magnificent. Now Sherry, clearing kick, Kicks to centre half forward. Burris after it. Now they've got some run. Connor Thar on the left boot. Puts a short pass over to O'Halloran. Can he keep it in play? Yes, he can. His kick smothered off the boot. Bit of a chaos ball inside 50. Cannons defending. Gets caught, spun around. Now there's another kick on goal. That wind, get out of here. No, still stays in play. Oh, nervous times for the Cannons. Quick handball, get rid of it, get rid of it. Umpire says holding the ball. That was a hot potato.
Beggars belief why they didn't just rush that ball. Under pressure, a metre out from goal, and the Cannons did everything they could to keep it in, handballed 3 times and gave the Jets enough time to close, and now they're going to kick 2 goals in 2 minutes here and get it back to within 13 points.
Tristan Rudick had to get his own footy from the gutter. He won't care, he's got a shot from the goal square. And that is straight through the middle. Tristan Rudick gets his first, it's the Jets' second. 2 goals straight, 12 to 4-1. 25 on the NG scoreboard, 21 minutes on the Technica time clock. And we'll know more at half-time, but those goals are valuable.
Well, you go from feeling like it was a quarter dominated by the Cannons and they could go in 5 or 6 goals up with the aid of that breeze crooks in. As you say, we might have learned more in the second term, to thinking the Western Jets have at least drawn level, if not won the quarter, if they go in a couple of goals down, considering the strength of that breeze.
They haven't tried to be defensive, which at the moment is paying off for them, as Stall Dryer's claimed in the middle. Get a ball up, still inside the centre circle here at Rams Arena. Ruckman fly, but both of them missed it. Clearance will go the way of Suter towards the half-forward area. Tackled there was Pajaski. Still in the hands of the Jets. Andrews pops it up over the top. Riddick takes the mark. Just outside, attacking 50 on the outer side. He'll chip it short. Player unopposed is the big man in Sherry.
He's played well.
The Jets are absolutely hammering the Cannons around the clearances at the moment, and in the clinches. Their contested work is what's winning them, getting them back into the game.
Sherry, good fly there from Huggard, and he'll claim the mark. Near enough to the last line of defence for the Cannons. Under a bit of pressure in the closing stages of this first term. Benaki had to flick the handball backwards. Huggard goes back in after it, flicked the handball out, turned it over. Ball under pressure, Benaki on half back, centering ball, dangerous ball, but the mark is taken. And Pajaski has it just inside defensive 50. He goes short, and the mark is taken here by Kalutzi.
Kick through centre half back. Oh, Butterfingers went straight through. Karmas trying to get the ball out for the Jets. Getting tapped out, tapped under. Eventually they spit it out. Not clean. Ends up with Butters. Butters pops a kick up forward. Spun around. Crawford goes in short. Half volley. Nicely picked up by O'Halloran. Now Lant. Lant for the Cannons. Nowhere to go. Gets it back to Fletcher. Now taken by the man in the long sleeves, Colucci. He kicks to centre wing. They're running onto it. McNichol. Not a Stall gift winner, but he's got good enough to get it. Arches the back. Puts in the short one. Now they're a bit of a show. They stretch up. Kick to the top of the square. They need a mark. Oh, beats all comers across the face. And over the boundary line, out of bounds. City end of the ground. 24 minutes into this first quarter.
Probably could add a shot there, Cooksey. Noah Bolter streaming towards goal, 50 metres out. We've already seen him kick one from a standing start from 55 metres, and there's probably no reason if he kicked through that he wouldn't have made the distance.
Ball thrown in. Big play here. The ball's going to come up a little bit short. It's getting towards the boundary line. Bolter's in there. Karmas keeps it in. Now they're a little bit of a show. Kick smothered. Tilly. His kick's intercepted. This one's just a dirty big up and under. Casa makes a contest. Ball spills down. Jets defending grimly. They kick out some clean air here. Thar, clever mark. difficult mark. Casser. I'm liking the run from Darcy Casser. Kick smothered. Casser goes after it again. Feeds the handball back to Thar. Overruns it. Siren sounds right on the 25-minute mark.
Shouldn't have doubted our director.
No doubts. 4-1-25. The Calder Cannons. 2 goals straight. 12 the Western Jets. The goal kickers, you guys got them. I think Maddo's got them.
Yeah, Velasaris with 3 goals. Blistering start to the game for the Calder Cannons. Noah Bolter with 1 as well. And for the Western Jets, those 2 late goals coming from Zach Butters and Tristan Riddick.
Good work. Quarter time here. We'll take a break here from our sponsors and be back on the other side for round 18 match of the day action here at Rams Arena.
Essendon captain Goddard settles, and he's done it. He's slotted through the match-winning goal. Roughhead flies high across the pack and takes a classic mark. Pendlebury's leading from the front, clocking up the possessions today, and young gun Josh Dunkley is looking good in his debut match. NG, the power behind Gippsland Power. For the past 19 seasons, NG, Loy Yang B and Hazelwood has been kicking goals with Gippsland Power as major sponsor. Gippsland Power, the backyard playground of tomorrow's future stars. Go Power!
If you love your under-18s footy and want to know more about the future stars of the AFL, then check out AFL Draft Central. AFL Draft Central is the only AFL draft-focused website providing draft profiles, power rankings, video highlights, exclusive interviews and all the stats you need on the up-and-coming stars of the TAC Cup. To check them out, visit afldraftcentral.com.au. Like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter at AFL Draft Central. AFL Draft Central, proudly supporting TAC Cup Radio. Technica is an Australian company that's been importing Italian-made and European-designed cooking appliances and white goods for almost 20 years. Technica appliances are a fusion of cutting-edge technology and contemporary design, providing a high level of style and sophistication to any kitchen. This is why so many leading architects, developers, interior designers and builders use Technica appliances, because like their customers, they want the very latest in innovation and quality. Technica, proud sponsor of the Northern Knights and TAC Cup Radio. For all your workwear, head down to Cowboys Cash and Carry, Unit 1, 169 Settlement Road, Thomastown. High-vis long and short-sleeve work shirts, just $5. Expect to pay triple elsewhere. High-vis windsheeters in fluoro orange or yellow, just $8. Sizes all the way up to 5XL. If you mention this ad, they'll throw in a 3-pack of work socks free. Cowboys Cash and Carry, Unit 1, 169 Settlement Road, Thomastown. Proudly supporting TAC Cup Radio.
The Red Time Sport iPhone app is here and ready to download. The app allows you to listen to the different sports BPM media broadcasts wherever you are in the world, including VFL and TAC Cup Radio and a whole lot more. You can interact with the commentary team in real time via the Red Time Sport iPhone app feedback and social networking buttons. Plus check out upcoming broadcasts. Catch up with the latest sports headlines from around the world via the Sports News button. The Red Time Sport iPhone app. Download it from the iTunes Store today. Visit bpmmedia.com.au for more details.
TAC Cup Radio has its own Facebook page. You can find it by searching for TAC Cup Radio. Like the page and be kept up to date with everything that's happening in this year's TAC Cup season. Have your say on any topic, including the best on ground and the players making their mark on the competition. You can also find the Twitter handles for our commentary team so you can interact during the match. They all love talking about the next thing in TAC Cup footy and you can let them know your opinion. TAC Cup Radio on Facebook. Like it now. FootyProfit.com is your go-to for everything AFL online, including some of the best under-18s coverage across Australia. The site has phantom drafts, player scout reports, predictions and expert analysis on your favourite players. Footy Profit is committed to covering the AFL draft and as a key sponsor of TAC Cup Radio provides first-class analysis and opinion. Readers are flooding to FootyProfit.com to stay up to date with everything they need to know about the TAC Cup and the AFL draft. It's time you found out what all the fuss is about. Visit footyprofit.com. Nixon Finance has been running in the Plenty Valley area of Greensborough for over 20 years. As your financial consultants and brokers, they specialise in all your equipment and vehicle finance needs. Home loans, business loans, commercial property loans. They deal with all the banks and get the right loan that suits your needs. Call Phil Smith during business hours on 9435 2600 or email nixonfinance@bigpond.com. On taccup.com.au and the Red Time Sport iPhone app, this is TAC Cup Radio.
Quarter time here at Rams Arena. Brad Bernacki won the toss for the Cannons, decided to kick with a sizable breeze, and at quarter time it is 4-1-25 to the Cannons, and the Western Jets are 2 goals straight 12, and they got those 2 goals just late in the quarter, Matto.
They certainly did, and they were quite impressive. They didn't go into their shell, which I think a tactic in these conditions would be just to try and kill time off the clock and prevent the Cannons from scoring. But every time they got the ball in their hands, you knew something was about to happen. They were trying to create something, and they got reward for effort in the last 10 minutes of that term. And based on that, I'm almost, despite the scoreboard saying the Cannons won the quarter, I'm tempted to say that I think the Jets will take more out of it, and the game was played more on their terms in the last 5 to 10 minutes.
It was. I was very impressed by Tristan Sherry in the ruck for the Western Jets. Big fella. What have we got him down here? It's 201 and 93 from Caroline Spins. I reckon he might have put 1 or 2 on since those stats were taken at the start of the year. And I thought he worked really well in the ruck. He's, let me just check he's just a top Asia this year. And he worked well around the ground as well, and a couple of his play, more ground play than his ruck work, brought the ball inside 50. And as you rightly pointed out, they didn't try to kill time or defend. They actually attacked and went forward and showed that there's no reason why you couldn't, do well into the win as you go.
And the other player that was impressive too off halfback was Luke Hitch. I think any time they were under pressure in defence and they got the ball into his hands, you felt like they were in safe hands. You knew that you were going to get a good result with that. And I think the other player too, which you mentioned in the last passage of play, Casa down here on the broadcast wing, pushing up the ground, using his speed, but again, he's efficient and clean and a good decision maker. So he's really impressive for a youngster.
And we can't not mention Jean-Louis Velasaris. 3 goals in the first quarter, and he was ever your opportunist forward. Read the ball beautifully. I loved his 3rd goal from the ruck, from the throw-in. Knew where the ball was going to hold up in the breeze from the throw-in. Got to the front position. Had to do a little bit of work in a tight space. Got a bit of crowding, but still got it away. As Tim returns from the huddle, he'll bring us all the action from there.
Noel Bolter was good as well for the Cannons in that term.
Absolutely. What was the word in the Cannons camp, Tim?
Pretty happy with the start, even though they're only 13 points in front after kicking with that strong breeze that we've touched on a few times. Essentially, what we've already spoken about already, that probably getting caught a few too many times too often on the outside, and that they need to work as hard out on the outside as they were on the inside to win a lot of ball. But the key takeaway points with it, the coach, Andrew Johnson of the Cannons, was really happy with some of the team efforts which led to goals. As much as he said it was great that John-Luke Balasaris kicked 3 in that first term, the pats on the back went to Ty Browning and Jacob McNichol and the guys that laid blocks in the lead-up.
Second quarter action here from Rams Arena. Take it away, Matto.
As Sherry flicks the handball away from the contest, Jets trying to get it forward, just missed Thar, and things are held up. Corner of the centre square broadcast side favouring the Jets. Now an opportunity here for Mould to send it inside, attacking 50. There's a hold, and a free kick will go the way of the Jets, in the way of Alex Burris. 45-degree angle, kicking from about 45 metres out, but with the breeze right behind him.
Got a good view of this one.
Straight down the barrel here for Alex Burris to kick off the second term. The way the last started, he's bent that beautifully, Alex Burris. And the Western Jets move to 3 straight 18. Calder Cannons 4-1-25 on the NG scoreboard. Unfortunately, the Technica time clock hasn't started in this term just yet.
Ticked away.
About a minute in.
Last 3 goals now for the Jets, so building a bit of momentum, which those last 2 goals of the first term allowed them to do, and Bourus able to give the visitors the perfect start at Rams Arena in the second term.
We're back in the middle. Bolter up against Sherry. Lant gets a beautiful long clearing kick up forward for the Cannons. Fire brace at front and square. Gets it back out to Lant. Leans back on the left boot. Oh, just to the right. Beautiful work by Lant. Good follow up. 4-2. 4-2. The scoreboard's not working at all. 4-2, 26 to 3 goals straight, 18. As Hitch brings the ball back in. Kicks to himself, gets a bit of yardage, comes over the back, mark taken. Now the handball on Stilldryer, running through the middle of Rams Arena. Has to shake off a bit of action. Now they kick it forward here through Blake Suter. Ball dropped there, just forward of centre. Now a little kick up going, looking for Casa. Casa's got it in front of him, got plenty of opponents for company there. Comes loose, flicked out handball. Again, Suter runs onto it, spins around, kicks, and funny old mark taken, but it is. Comes out wide. This will be Walsh. Walsh has got it on the half-back flank, eastern side of the ground. Overcooks the kick, and Oscar Manton, son of Glenn Manton, takes the ball, kicks it to a hot spot. The big men fly, man in front, and the mark will be taken by Pajaski.
Noah Bolter.
Oh, Noah Bolter, sorry. Matt?
So Bolter kicks it short, and the Cannons, well, that one was a little too short, but they work out okay. Defensive side of the outer wing. High ball in the direction of Tilley. He takes the mark now, attacking side of the outer wing.
Just need to get him into the game a bit more, Matt, the Cannons. He's been quite good up forward for Coburg in a month or so VFL stint, but we haven't seen a lot of him today.
They track backwards and switch the ball across the ground to Walsh, who has Kalutzi on offer. Attacking side now of the broadcast wing here at Rams Arena. Kalutzi given the hurry up, sends it down along the boundary line, very close to it, stays in play though, and Browning takes the mark. Just outside attacking 50, broadcast side for the Calder Cannons. A congested 50 in front of him, just puts it up to the hot spot. Karmas front spot takes a good mark.
It was a poor option, Matt, because the Jets had 3 tall players sitting in the hole 30 metres out from goal. Rather than go short and hit up an option, that was exactly where Browning kicked it.
As Karmas goes short, mark taken here by Sherry. Done well to hold things up here, the Western Jets. Sherry, long kick out of defensive 50, goes over the back of the contest. Riccardi runs onto it under a bit of pressure on half-back, goes this way, goes that. Handball looking for Bolter, had a bit of work to do. He dishes off the handball on the outer side. Bouncing ball up to the wing. Now chip kick over the top, hits up Taylor, who pops it inside, attacking 50, and the mark is taken by Jack Evans.
That's probably their best passage of play. Clean football all the way up the ground there.
You know what, Crooks, you almost said exactly the same thing then. A lot of their goals in the first quarter either came from stoppages or that long ball from Padhajki, which involved a bit of luck, but on that occasion, the Cannons actually strung 2 or 3 possessions to get it together to get Jack Evans his shot on goal.
Kicking straight into the wind. It's smothered from the man on the mark. Firebrace does the roving, tries to curl it through, but just misses. And the Calder Cannons move to 4-4-28. The Western Jets 3 straight 18 on the NG scoreboard.
Mould kicks to himself, gets plenty of yardage, no pressure there. Now he gets the kick to centre wing, looking for Sherry, who, gee, all but took it. Falls to the ground, Firebrace has got it, Stilldryer gets it. Over to Young. They go along the boundary line, O'Halloran keeps it in, turns on the left boot, comes over the back. Cannons have got numbers, claiming the mark, not too sure about that actually. But anyway, tricked enough of them. Now Riccardi feeds off the handball, comes off the side of the boot, bounces, or doesn't bounce, goes over the boundary line on the full.
Update score from Mars Stadium. Bendigo kicked 4 goals to 1 in the second quarter, but the Rebels lead by 13 points at half-time.
Contest up there at Mars. Triple header up there today.
Wind would be playing havoc up there too. A little bit of a wind tunnel.
Xavier O'Halloran for the Western Jets. Kicks out to the front, looking for the breeze to bring it back, but a bit skinny on the right-hand side and through for a behind. And they move it on to 3 goals, 1-19 to 4-3-27.
Had a good few weeks, Xavier. Best on ground in the Herald Sun Shield final a few weeks ago for St Bernard's, as they won the title for the first time in 13 years against St Pat's. So a real quality bottom-age player that the Jets have got coming through.
So Caluzzi has it, back pocket outer side for the Cannons, decides to play on, goes up along the outer boundary line. Contest comes straight to the deck. Opportunity here for Suda. Jets kick it inside, attacking 50, bouncing ball. Musa back there, traps the ball in up against the boundary line. Eventually it's spilt free, but straight over the boundary line and out of play. We'll throw it in about 30 metres around from goal on the outer side for the Western Jets. They're 3-1-19. Calder Cannons 4-3-27 on the NG scoreboard. As the umpire sends the ball back into play. Sherry with the tap straight to the deck. Galuzzi fists it forward for the Calder Cannons. They run out of space though, and the ball goes back over the boundary line and out of play. 50 out from goal, outer side for the Jets. And probably being played on their terms just at the moment. Sherry brings the ball to the deck. Others dive in over the top of it, trying to extract it. One of them was Caluzzi. Jets maintain possession. They'll send it back inside, attacking 50. Awkward ball there for Butters. Cannons kick it across the face of goal, and Fletcher takes the mark. Back pocket, broadcast side, in a bit of trouble, gets it across to Benaki. Goes to the outer side, and eventually it will roll over the boundary line and out of play.
They just seem really determined to play on from the full back line, don't they, the Cannons? Almost like they've got this desire not to rush the ball, not a lot to lose today, and need to score as often as they can. So there's been a few times already today they've played on rather than just rush it through.
Taylor can't clear. Now Jets, shot on goal. And it is a good one. AFL Draft Central goal of the day contender. And I'll just pick up that in, that is Jaden Rice who's kicked that. Did some good work in heavy traffic there, and that is their second for the term. They move on to 4-1-25. They trail the Cannons by 2 points, 4-3-27. And we're going to have to rectify the Technica time clock just for this quarter.
Last 4 now for the Jets. You just get this feeling that the next maybe 10 minutes or so might be a really decisive period of this game. If the Jets can get the next 2 or 3 goals and get a bit of a break on the Cannons, they might be able to control the game from that point on.
Big tap goes the way of the Jets. Musa applies.
We're 10 minutes into the second quarter on the Technica time clock. I'm reliably informed.
Ball up. Back in the middle. Jets feed it by hand to Fogarty. High ball inside, attacking 50. Fletcher from behind brought the ball to ground. Cannon just trying to work it away. Although they're held up on the half-back flank, and the umpire says that's holding the footy. So free kick to go the way of the Western Jets. Graham has it.
He fancies himself, Blake Graham.
He's got the wind right behind his back.
In the kindest possible way, I'm not sure.
So Graham comes in, puts it on its way. It's hooking back, gonna fall just short.
Gee,
and just wide. Minor score for the Western Jets. They move to 4-2-26. Calder Cannons 4-3-27 on the NG scoreboard. About 11 minutes in to the second term on the Technica time clock.
Cannons bring it in through Fletcher. They go into Riccardi at centre half back. They're switching play. They'll need to be clean here. the Cannons. Scholl. Not too sure which way to go. Butters putting under a lot of pressure. They kick out wide and Fletcher's got it. Son of Dustin finds Colucci. Plays on. Handballs over the top. Now we've got Walsh. They go along the line. The big men fly. Beats the pack. Velasaris. Hitch. Good tough footy. Loving it. And Velasaris comes out with the free kick. Kicks inside 50. It holds up in the air. And Darren Walters intercept mark. Thumping kick. Kicks inside the square. Jets by hand to Stooldryer. Over the top. Bit of a loose footy. Oh, slammed into the ground by Firebrace. And it's deemed a dangerous tackle. And Jack Crawford will take the resultant free kick. Good tackle for mine. But anyway, I'm not the umpire. Crawford puts it up. Looking for a mark. The big men fly. Comes off the pack. This will be Rudick. He gets collared, dispossessed, and the Cannons take the resultant free kick at centre half back. They kick out to the outer half back flank. Taylor gets it. Hops on the bike, takes a bounce, has to wheel around. His kick is smothered. As you said, Tim, it's play on at all costs, but sometimes it's a bit suicidal. They sort of haven't got too many options to go to as the Jets take the turnover. They handball in the middle of Rams Arena. Just a popper-upperer. Comes off the hands of Huggard. Now caught with the ball underneath. Huggard gets it. Back to Mould. Tries the old don't argue. He's tackled, driven into the ground, and the free kick is given to Miles Gallant.
And a 50-metre penalty.
They're worth their weight in goal, and when you're kicking into the wind too.
And that breeze has just picked up a bit too.
Good call too, Crooksy, about the number of times the Cannons players have looked up from half back in this quarter and just looked uncertain about what the next link in the chain is.
Colucci received the handball. High ball inside attacking 50 for the Cannons. Comes off hands. Firebrace lurking. Couldn't get a clean possession. Walters, the big man, coming through for the Jets. Booms it outside. Defensive 50. They work it by hand. Burris sends it back inside attacking 50. Sherry couldn't take it cleanly. Ball is wrapped up. Back pocket on the broadcast side for the Calder Cannons.
Just for those watching on the TAC Cup website that just saw Jesse Firebrace try to tackle Darren Walters, there is a 40-kilogram difference between those two players. So there's a good reason that 61-kilogram Jesse Firebrace couldn't wrap up 101-kilo Darren Walters.
Is that stat of the day?
It's a good stat. Ball to be thrown in, forward pocket City end. I agree with you, Matt, the wind has picked up.
Actually, the lightest and heaviest player on the ground today, those two.
Up they go. Ball hits the deck, spinning into a bit of trouble. Rudick, Jets, spits out the back. Now Benaki on the left foot, kicks into the other back pocket. Ball still in play. Young over to Butters, tried to sell it, but just lost his grip on the footy. And now the ball's underneath a bunch of players here, rolling over in the hay, and the umpire will come in and ball this up. We're inside 50.
Just got a Jets player walking into the rooms with the jacket on. I think I saw a number 3. Might be Andrews.
And there is a free kick here. Infringement in the ruck to Tristan Sherry, who is 201 and 93 from Caroline Springs, having an excellent game here today, Tristan.
So you'd think he's going to, at a minimum, score here, and that'll put the Jets level for the first time since 55 seconds into the first quarter.
He kicks and makes no mistake whatsoever. That's Tristan Sherry's first goal of the match, and the Jets move on to 5-2-32 on the NG scoreboard, and the Calder Cannons are 4-3-27, and we're how many minutes into this second quarter? 18 minutes into the second quarter on the Technica time clock.
You're spot on about the influence Sherry's having on this game, Brooksy, around the ground as well as up forward, where he's done some of his good work in his junior days in the WRFL. He's been able to really impact this contest around the ground and in the ruck as well.
The ball back in the middle. Bolter applies the tackle. Jets almost were able to get away with it. Mussa's all wrapped up. And we'll get a ball up. High gets things back underway. Bolter fists it forward. Cannons work it free. High ball towards the half-forward flank over the head of Firebrace. Mould applied the pressure. Cannons were able to work it clear on half-forward. Goal towards the top of the goal square. Bounced awkwardly for Karmas. Had support. His teammate was able to get through traffic. Again, just boots the ball towards centre wing. Went over everyone. Race is on. Jaski chasing after it. In front of him, though, was O'Halloran. He was dealt with after he got the kick away. And there will be a downfield free kick for the Western Jets. Up against the boundary line. There's a chip kick, top of the goal square. But it's going to have to come back. So this is Burris. Up against the fence. Difficult shot in these conditions. Snaps it, goes straight across the face and out on the full. Free kick to go the way of the Calder Cannons. They trail 4-3-27. The Western Jets 5-2-32 on the NG scoreboard.
Tim, you know Andrew Johnson a bit better than what we do, but I'd suggest he wouldn't be happy with these two defenders, or two forwards up there that let the Western Jets defence go, just waltz on through. If you're close enough to brush them, you're close enough to stop them, I reckon.
No, it's right, Cooksy, and yeah, he's a coach that really loves seeing his players do those little 1%ers and the basic things, and laying a tackle when you're trying to put forward pressure on is just about one of the most basic skills in the game, and one that most coaches place a lot of importance on nowadays.
Blake Suter has won himself a free kick inside 50. He's on a 45-degree angle. He'll kick from 40 metres. With this breeze, it'll feel like 15 metres. Distance will not be a concern. He comes in, pops it up, and lets the breeze do the work. That is another one for the Jets. That is his first for the day. They've got 6 goal kickers. They move on to 6-2-38 to 4-3-27 on the NG scoreboard. Just ticking past 22 minutes on the Technica time clock.
Matt made the point before the game about taking your opportunities when you've got them with the breeze, and the Jets have had 6 shots in this quarter and been able to put 4-2 on the board. So the Cannons kicked 4-1 with the breeze in the first quarter, but have only been able to kick 2 behinds in this term. But at the moment, it's just those 2 goals at the opposite end really between the teams.
Ball back in the middle, things are all wrapped up. We'll get a secondary ball up. Umpire gets us back underway. Bolter taps it down. Casa under pressure, somehow got boot to ball. Bounced awkwardly for Firebrace. Jets with the numbers around. Mussa's held up. They get a handball across to Panaki, comes out wide to Firebrace, centre wing broadcast side, slipped over at the crucial moment, and the umpire says he threw it out of the contest. Free kick will go the way of the Western Jets, and it will be Matty Young.
Played well.
Centre wing broadcast side. He'll go short and hits up a target. Mark taken here by Graham. He'll go further afield. The contest applied by Musa brought the ball to ground, and it's seen over the boundary line and out of play by the Cannons at half-back. Nearing half-time here at Rams Arena. Western Jets at the moment have an 11-point lead on the NG scoreboard. And they've done most of the attacking, not only for this term, but for the back half of the first quarter as well. Benaki sharks it out. But thanks to the wind, we'll go out on the full and free kick to go the way of the Western Jets.
We're bang on centre wing in the shadows of half-time. Oscar Manton to take the ball for the Jets. He just thumps it forward, but it's found by Bolter. Bolter goes in short. Kick bounces. Bolter follows up. Good work, Noah. Gets it on his left boot. Don't know if it was all by design, but it was effective. Now they kick it inside 50. Karmas at the back. Now they've got a chance. Free kick, I would say. And the Cannons will take this kick.
Brooksy, we spoke about the ramifications for the Cannons of today, but if the Jets win, they'll finish ninth, it looks like, so they'll be the best of the rest with 6 wins, which would be one of their best wins tallies of recent years.
Jack Evans from the Aberfeldy club comes in and kicks.
Oh.
That's just a dirty big up and under.
That
bounces. That'll just keep coming back this way. Benaki would have been caught without it. Now the Jets can clear on the left boot. Bouncing footy. Going after it is Musa. Tackles right in front of us here. Mould on top of it. The ball will be bounced right in front of the commentary position.
So just to give you an idea, Jack Evans has had a shot from 35 metres out. It's gone sideways, and a Western Jets player's collected it 40 metres out. I think it was a negative 5 metre kick.
Benaki slips the handball through. Sherry, good hands to Suda. Now Graham. They're just forcing the ball forward. Burris on the left boot. Clever kick, clever kick. Lowered the eyes and found Zach Butters. And he's a pretty clever kick for goal too as we get close to half-time.
So this will hurt the Cannons. They had a shot one end, it's gone straight down the other end, and the Jets have an opportunity to extend their lead.
Zach Butters, very much a bottom ager. Got his birthday next week. He turns 17, so just a 16-year-old Zach Butters.
No, I know. Yeah, that's what
Puts it up. It's going to fall short. They're looking for the big men, and
Oh.
they found it. What a cracking mark. That's Burris.
Footyprofit.com mark of the day contender.
An absolute footyprofit.com mark of the day contender. He had 3 to beat, and he puts through the goal for the icing. And that is his first multiple goal scorer for the Western Jets. And that'll give him a handy little lead going into half-time. 7-2-44 on the NG scoreboard. 4-3-27 are the Calder Cannons. And yeah, that's been no goals to the Cannons this way, has there? No, they haven't been able to.
And we talk about coach killers. 3 Cannons flew in that contest against Burris, and he's obviously had eyes for the ball, whereas all of the defenders were worried about where he was coming from. And I think, yeah, because he had his eyes on the foot, he was able to rise tallest and take the mark and kick the easiest of goals.
Ball back in the middle. Benaki trying to get something going for the Cannons prior to half-time. High ball towards the half-forward flank. Came off hands. And roving it was Bentley. Hooked it around his body and somehow found a target in Thar. Centre wing out of side for the Western Jets. The kick inboard not great. Taylor takes the mark. Wants to move it quickly for the Cannons, but he's turned it over. Mark taken on the outer side again by Thar. As the siren sounds for half-time here at Rams Arena, the Western Jets take a handy lead. 7-2-44, the Calder Cannons. 4-3-27 on the NG scoreboard. Goal kickers to half-time for the Calder Cannons. No goals added in that term. They remain the same. Belissaris with 3, Bolter with 1. And then for the Western Jets, just missed that last goal
Burris.
kick. Yeah, so Burris has 2. And then singles to Rudick, Suter, Butters, Rice and Sherry.
We'll take a break here. I think we've got Ian Kite coming to have a chat to us at half-time, and we'll discuss the first half. You are listening and watching the TAC Cup Radio Match of the Day. It's the Cannons and the Jets from Rams Arena, and a big hi to Rick Morris, who's not well at the moment. He's home listening to us and giving us the thumbs up.
Be a lot more.
Essendon captain Goddard settles, and he's done it. He's slotted through the match-winning goal. Roughhead flies high across the pack and takes a classic mark. Pendlebury's leading from the front, clocking up the possessions today, and young gun Josh Dunkley is looking good in his debut match. NG, the power behind Gippsland Power. For the past 19 seasons, NG, Loy Yang B and Hazelwood has been kicking goals with Gippsland Power as major sponsor. Gippsland Power, the backyard playground of tomorrow's future stars. Go Power!
If you love your under-18s footy and want to know more about the future stars of the AFL, then check out AFL Draft Central. AFL Draft Central is the only AFL draft-focused website providing draft profiles, power rankings, video highlights, exclusive interviews and all the stats you need on the up-and-coming stars of the TAC Cup. To check them out, visit afldraftcentral.com.au. Like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter at AFL Draft Central. AFL Draft Central, proudly supporting TAC Cup Radio. Technica is an Australian company that's been importing Italian-made and European-designed cooking appliances and white goods for almost 20 years. Technica appliances are a fusion of cutting-edge technology and contemporary design, providing a high level of style and sophistication to any kitchen. This is why so many leading architects, developers, interior designers and builders use Technica appliances, because like their customers, they want the very latest in innovation and quality. Technica, proud sponsor of the Northern Knights and TAC Cup Radio. For all your workwear, head down to Cowboys Cash and Carry, Unit 1, 169 Settlement Road, Thomastown. High-vis long and short-sleeve work shirts, just $5. Expect to pay triple elsewhere. High-vis wind cheaters in fluoro, orange or yellow, just $8. Sizes all the way up to 5XL. If you mention this ad, they'll throw in a 3-pack of work socks free. Cowboys Cash and Carry, Unit 1, 169 Settlement Road, Thomastown. Proudly supporting TAC Cup Radio.
The Red Time Sport iPhone app is here and ready to download. The app allows you to listen to the different sports BPM media broadcasts wherever you are in the world, including VFL and TAC Cup Radio and a whole lot more. You can interact with the commentary team in real time via the Red Time Sport iPhone app feedback and social networking buttons. Plus check out upcoming broadcasts. Catch up with the latest sports headlines from around the world via the Sports News button. The Red Time Sport iPhone app. Download it from the iTunes Store today. Visit bpmmedia.com.au for more details.
TAC Cup Radio has its own Facebook page. You can find it by searching for TAC Cup Radio. Like the page and be kept up to date with everything that's happening in this year's TAC Cup season. Have your say on any topic, including the best on ground and the players making their mark on the competition. You can also find the Twitter handles for our commentary team so you can interact during the match. They all love talking about the next thing in TAC Cup footy and you can let them know your opinion. TAC Cup Radio on Facebook. Like it now. FootyProfit.com is your go-to for everything AFL online, including some of the best under-18s coverage across Australia. The site has phantom drafts, player scout reports, predictions and expert analysis on your favourite players. Footy Profit is committed to covering the AFL draft and as a key sponsor of TAC Cup Radio provides first-class analysis and opinion. Readers are flooding to FootyProfit.com to stay up to date with everything they need to know about the TAC Cup and the AFL draft. It's time you found out what all the fuss is about. Visit footyprofit.com. Nixon Finance has been running in the Plenty Valley area of Greensborough for over 20 years. As your financial consultants and brokers, they specialise in all your equipment and vehicle finance needs. Home loans, business loans, commercial property loans. They deal with all the banks and get the right loan that suits your needs. Call Phil Smith during business hours on 9435 2600 or email nixonfinance@bigpond.com.
On taccup.com.au and the Red Time Sport iPhone app, this is TAC Cup Radio.
Back here at Rams Arena, it is a 17-point lead to the Jets. Tomorrow night, I can't remember the name of the function centre, but I know it's in Essendon Fields. The Morris Medal count is on for the best or fairest and best player in the TAC Cup, and we've brought along Matt Barmer to have a chat to us about that. How are you, Matt?
G'day, Crooksy. Thanks for being here.
No worries. Always an interesting award, the Morris Medal, isn't it? Because over the years, it can be won by players that have just played more games than the guys that have been playing rep and school footy and whatever. But then last year we had the number 2 draft pick it up in exciting circumstances, Huey McLaughlin. So it's an interesting one. How do you see it panning out this season?
Yeah, well, Hugh was probably the obvious one last year. He didn't play school footy, so he had the advantage of playing pretty much every weekend for North Ballarat, as they were called last year. And he obviously polled probably not as well as we probably thought. We probably thought he'd get 20 plus votes, but I think he ended up with only 15. But he was the clear best player in the competition last year. Whereas I reckon this year it's a lot more even. There's probably been no standout throughout the whole season, and I'm predicting it's probably going to be close. I think there's a lot of candidates there that might be, there might be 2 or 3 votes splitting them by the end of the night tomorrow out at Essendon.
Going through the teams, and I suppose we don't have this right in front of us here, but like how many games has like a Cameron Rayner played for Western Jets and that, and he might have only had to play 7 games and he might have got 5 best on the grounds or something, and that might be enough to win it type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I think Jack Higgins is probably one of the contenders, and I think Jack's played 11 games it might be, so sort of those guys that play around the 10 to 12 mark are probably got the advantage. And I mean, I think Benaki might have almost played every game from Calder. You've got the advantage over the guys that play 2 or 3 or 4 to 5 games because they've got the school footy and then Vic Metro commitments and those sort of things. But you never know with the Morris medal. It throws up a few surprises. I mean, last year it was Dan Alsop that finished second, and then Cal McKeon from Gippsland, one of the bottom ages, and I don't think anyone had talked about him all year. So you never know what the umpires think. They always think differently to what we supporters think, and then again what the recruiters think. So I don't think we know, and I suppose we'll find out in 32 hours or so.
So, and that's one of the beauties of it. Like, I'm one that loves the fact that the umpires give votes, because who's to say they know, we know, well, we do know more than them, but did I just say that? No, we don't know. It's just all subjective. It's all, and I'll tell you one thing, they have got the most unique view of the game. I'm not saying it's the best view, but they've got the most unique view of the game, because they watch it in a 360
they
circle.
do. Yeah, well, they're right out in the middle, and they sort of can gauge probably who might have impacted the game the most, and that might not necessarily be the best player, but sometimes would be just the player they thought impacted the game and changed the result.
A few of the recent winners of the award, just sort of bringing to mind, I know who's the poor boy that's done his knee a number of times for Hawthorn? Alex Woodward. Sometimes it's a curse and sometimes it's a bit of a blessing.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily means you get drafted. I think we've had players overlooked in the past, and it's just the way it happens. But obviously last year McCluggage went pick 3 to Brisbane and was probably touted as the number 1 pick for most of last year, and then he ended up winning the Morris, and was a very humble kid and really down to earth, and thoroughly deserved it.
Anyone from the Northern Knights? Caulfield?
Yeah, I think Caulfield will be up there in a lot of... I mean, he's one of those ones that don't have school footy, so he's got the advantage over a few of the others that do play school footy. I think he'll poll reasonably well in some games. Dandenong Stingrays, I think it was, he had 30 disposals, kicked 3, including 2 in the last quarter, 1 from 50, which is a ripper. I reckon he'll poll in that game. So you never know. It's a hard one. Do you get the advantage if you pick up the 3 votes in 4 or 5 games, or are you going to have to be consistent and get the 1s and 2s here and there, and that might be the thing that separates him. So yeah, he'll be probably a candidate for the Northern Knights, but you just don't know.
We don't know, but if there'll be plenty of ways to keep tabs on it, but the best way would be to follow you on Twitter tomorrow night.
Yeah, and I think we'll be at AFL Draft Central on Twitter. We'll be tweeting away throughout the night and throwing a few thoughts up, but it's a different format this year. No sit-down dinner for us, and I think we're told that they're going to sort of make it a bit of a theatre atmosphere, so I'm not sure what to expect, but
popcorn?
Who knows? I know we've got the TAC Cup girls presentations, so Bridie Kennedy from Dandenong Stingrays and Chloe Malloy from Calder Cannons will be accepting their awards, and they're probably the only 2 we know. And I assume they'll have the TAC Cup Team of the Year as well, as we normally do, and then the Morris medalists. So yeah, it's going to be a close night. I've tipped Cassidy Parish from Geelong Falcons, but again, that's with no certainty.
No, it'll be...
If you were to go a roughie, like pick one that no one's talked about yet, that could come out of nowhere.
Well, I reckon Cal Porter from Gippsland Power, there hasn't been a lot of chat around him, and he's played a lot of good games for the Gippsland Power. I mean, it's the argument, winning games, is that going to help, or losing games might count against you, but Gippsland will sneak probably into that 8th spot, so he's played enough wins, I would have thought. So I think Cal will be up there, and then one more, maybe one that sort of hasn't played as many games as others might be Hunter Clark. He's probably polled pretty well recently. I mean, he hasn't played as many as some of the others, but he might be someone that we don't really expect to probably win, but he might poll her up.
Anyway, tune in tomorrow night. Get on to AFL Draft Central. I'll be too busy eating the popcorn to tweet out, so just stick to these blokes. They'll do that. We had the Rising Star, and it's well known. We've spoken a number of times over the last 12 months. I would say I'm the second biggest Andy McGrath fan in the world. You're definitely number one. So you must have felt a sense of pride. You've known him for a long time. I noticed you tweeted yesterday. You first saw him playing like as a Year 7 kid.
Yeah, no, I remember back. I mean, went to the same school as Andy at Brighton Grammar, so had the chance to see Andy play a few games before us. I mean, I was 3 or 4 years ahead of him, but they used to have this tactic in Year 7 called the Forrest Gump. So basically, what they would do is Andy would take the kick out, and all the players would spread to each pocket, and he'd run straight down the middle and take it sort of 40, 50 metres as a Year 7. It was an interesting ploy from Tim Marshall, the Brighton Grammar coach there. But yeah, no, Andy's had a stellar year, but I think, again, you can't forget Ryan Burton. A lot of clubs ruled him out in 2015. I think it was his draft year that just that broken leg or slash knee, they just wouldn't have taken him. And the fact that Hawthorn took the punt, he's come good and he had a ripping year. And you could almost make a case he was better than Andy, but whoever won was the deserving winner. So good on Andy and good on Ryan as well.
Just going through those boys, I think he came in 4th, Curnow.
Yeah, Charlie Curnow, yeah.
So I sometimes get a little bit mixed up because I'm getting old, Matt, but he and Paddy McCartan played in the same team or swapped over in 1 year?
They would have at one point. I think Paddy was a 2014 draft and Charlie was 2015. So they would have played together at the Falcons for a little while. I mean, in his draft year, Charlie missed a lot of footy with that knee issue, I think it was. So I think there was a lot of questions. Was he a midfielder? Is he a half forward? Where's his best position? But Carlton didn't seem too phased, and he's had a ripping year this year. And I probably didn't think he'd have as good as a year as he has, but he's been very impressive.
Well, I know he took my eye watching him for Geelong Falcons, and I thought he might develop into something. And I thought he was well rewarded and well recognised yesterday. And my Carlton mates reckon they go over the top a bit, but they reckon he's Cooter reincarnated. So they're sort of looking for him. Don't want to put too big a sort of a label on him. All Australian during the week. And I thought it doesn't seem that long ago that Zach Merritt and Josh Kelly were playing together for the Sandringham Dragons. Probably 4 years ago or so. They were.
Yeah, it would have been Josh 2013 draft. So yeah, no, it's
4 seasons ago they're playing for the
amazing.
Sandy Dragons, and I'm pretty right in thinking that Sandy Dragons team missed out on the finals.
They did. That's right. They did. They missed out
from a game here, I think, or someone else won and just put them out. So
yeah, they finished 9th or something.
Finished
so just finished out that year.
And apart from Josh, like 2 All Australians, they had Christian Salem, Nathan Freeman, Tom Langdon. Is there another one there that sneaked? I think they might have another one snuck into that draft.
Possibly,
well.
yeah. They had a good year that year. They missed out. But sometimes shows that when you got those kids playing school footy and then they go out for the periods and they lose games, so it makes it hard to juggle the teams. That's why you sort of respect Oakley, because it's just every year they've got 70 odd blokes on their list and they chop and change each week, and school kids come back and school kids go away and then they come back at the end of the year and they still manage to be in the top sort of 4 every year. So you've got to have respect for those sort of clubs.
I go crook because they've got players with number 75 on their back. So I think it looks ridiculous.
Yeah, well, last week we had Bailey Griffiths in 79, so it's amazing.
It's all because of that. So I'm trying to think who else was All Australian. Well, and of course, I was going to say who else was All Australian. Bloke who played for the Cannons here, Joey Danaher, that sort of made his way. But to me, especially that centre line, having Kelly and Merritt either side, just shows you, like, it's only 4 seasons.
Yeah, and contending for a Brownlow, you'd think in a sense, like they're close to, they're probably going to poll it right. And I mean, I wouldn't expect them to win it, but you think in 2 more years, where are they going to be, type of thing. And just shows you they're not too far off from when they're drafted to getting to that superstar or very good player level.
That elite level.
Yeah.
And I think it's good. What I like about it most, it shows the path. I think the pathway works. Obviously, I advocate for the path. So I think the pathway works, and it shows that you can, well, you can be another team player or whatever, but we've got a couple of boys there that have gone to elite, and like the money that Kelly will, apart from that, like
so early in his career too. He's not like he's a mid-20s type player that's demanding that sort of cash. He's a young guy.
Yeah, you're not going to get that working at McDonald's, I'll tell you. But anyway. All right, the umpires are back on the ground. Thanks for having a chat with us, Matt.
No worries, Crooksy. Thanks for having me. We'll see you in finals.
I'll see you tomorrow night.
I will see you tomorrow night.
I'll see you tomorrow night. We won't be able to sit down. I love sitting next to him at the table. We talk all night. But anyway, we'll sit theatre style, okay? I'll bring the popcorn. We'll be back for the second half on the other side of this.
Essendon captain Goddard settles, and he's done it. He's slotted through the match-winning goal. Roughhead flies high across the pack and takes a classic mark. Pendlebury's leading from the front, clocking up the possessions today, and young gun Josh Dunkley is looking good in his debut match. NG, the power behind Gippsland Power. For the past 19 seasons, NG, Loy Yang B and Hazelwood has been kicking goals with Gippsland Power as major sponsor. Gippsland Power, the backyard playground of tomorrow's future stars. Go Power!
If you love your under-18s footy and want to know more about the future stars of the AFL, then check out AFL Draft Central. AFL Draft Central is the only AFL draft-focused website providing draft profiles, power rankings, video highlights, exclusive interviews and all the stats you need on the up-and-coming stars of the TAC Cup. To check them out, visit afldraftcentral.com.au. Like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter at AFL Draft Central. AFL Draft Central, proudly supporting TAC Cup Radio. Technica is an Australian company that's been importing Italian-made and European-designed cooking appliances and white goods for almost 20 years. Technica appliances are a fusion of cutting-edge technology and contemporary design, providing a high level of style and sophistication to any kitchen. This is why so many leading architects, developers, interior designers and builders use Technica appliances, because like their customers, they want the very latest in innovation and quality. Technica, proud sponsor of the Northern Knights and TAC Cup Radio. For all your workwear, head down to Cowboys Cash and Carry, Unit 1, 169 Settlement Road, Thomastown. High-vis long and short-sleeve work shirts, just $5. Expect to pay triple elsewhere. High-vis wind cheaters in fluoro, orange or yellow, just $8. Sizes all the way up to 5XL. If you mention this ad, they'll throw in a 3-pack of work socks free. Cowboys Cash and Carry, Unit 1, 169 Settlement Road, Thomastown. Proudly supporting TAC Cup Radio.
The Red Time Sport iPhone app is here and ready to download. The app allows you to listen to the different sports BPM media broadcasts wherever you are in the world, including VFL and TAC Cup Radio and a whole lot more. You can interact with the commentary team in real time via the Red Time Sport iPhone app feedback and social networking buttons. Plus check out upcoming broadcasts. Catch up with the latest sports headlines from around the world via the Sports News button. The Red Time Sport iPhone app. Download it from the iTunes Store today. Visit bpmmedia.com.au for more details.
TAC Cup Radio has its own Facebook page. You can find it by searching for TAC Cup Radio. Like the page and be kept up to date with everything that's happening in this year's TAC Cup season. Have your say on any topic, including the best on ground and the players making their mark on the competition. You can also find the Twitter handles for our commentary team so you can interact during the match. They all love talking about the next thing in TAC Cup footy, and you can let them know your opinion. TAC Cup Radio on Facebook. Like it now. FootyProfit.com is your go-to for everything AFL online, including some of the best under-18s coverage across Australia. The site has phantom drafts, player scout reports, predictions and expert analysis on your favourite players. Footy Profit is committed to covering the AFL draft and as a key sponsor of TAC Cup Radio provides first-class analysis and opinion. Readers are flooding to footyprofit.com to stay up to date with everything they need to know about the TAC Cup and the AFL draft. It's time you found out what all the fuss is about. Visit footyprofit.com. Nixon Finance has been running in the Plenty Valley area of Greensborough for over 20 years. As your financial consultants and brokers, they specialise in all your equipment and vehicle finance needs. Home loans, business loans, commercial property loans. They deal with all the banks and get the right loan for your needs. Call Phil Smith during business hours on 9435 2600 or email nixonfinance@bigpond.com.
On taccup.com.au and the Red Time Sport iPhone app, this is TAC Cup Radio.
Welcome back to Rams Arena. We're about to get the second half underway. It's the Western Jets 7-2-44, Calder Cannons 4-3-27. Big fist forward there from Noah Bolter. Ball at centre half forward already. Bounces awkwardly for the contest. Chasing after it is Bentley under a bit of pressure. Eventually got the handball, fell into the hands of Bolter. Up and under kick. Karmas receives the handball, but he's going to put it out on the full. Free kick to go the way of the Calder Cannons, centre wing broadcast side. Musa kicks it inboard. Cannons in space. Oh, Firebrace will receive the handball. Kicks it inside, attacking 50. Not the greatest of kicks, although fell out the back of the pack. Velasaris for his fourth. Gets it.
And that is an AFL Draft Central goal of the day contender. And I'm going to say tying in the clubhouse with Zach Butters in the first quarter. That was an absolute ripper from Velasaris. That was his fourth goal.
In the first quarter, the Cannons took 55 seconds, Crooksy. That was in 52, so just about two perfect starts for the first and the third. They're within 11 points now, but you think at a minimum, they probably have to go in 2 goals up as an absolute minimum at three-quarter time. They'd probably ideally like to be 3 or 4 up if they're going to win today, so they've still got a fair way to go.
Sherry gets the ball, dispossessed. Could have been pinged holding the ball there. Just a reminder too, we've been discussing the Morris Medal. You can watch that live streamed through the TAC Cup website. I'll even stick my head in front of the camera and wave to everyone as they're doing it tomorrow night. Give yourself a cheerio. The ball comes out, Firebrace picks it up. Handballs backwards to Jonah Horrow. Kicks inboard, it's intercepted. Jets, Connor Thar. He's on the chase, he looks around. Have a look around, Connor, that's Firebrace right on your ginger.
I missed that chat, but I like Jack Higgins from Oakley.
Jack Higgins from Oakley.
Won the Metro BNF, and I think he's played in enough winning teams to pick up a few 1s or 2s and been best on ground enough times to poll that 15 or 16 you probably need to win it.
Whoever drafts him are in for a very good player. I know that. He's happy. I'm happy enough for him to come to True Value Solar Centre. if there's any way he slips down to about 11 or 12. Jets through Hitch. Kicks out to centre wing. Bernacki gets it. Dispossessed. Now they're all caught up in a...
You've just ruled a line through the Bombers next week, Crooksy.
Oh, no.
To have pick 11 or 12.
Oh, that's true too. Sorry. What the hell was I saying?
You meant pick 18?
Yeah, pick 18. That's right. Yeah, what am I doing? Ball taken out. Riccardi in the centre of the ground. Puts a little fist in. Wins the ball back. Now they're a bit of a chance through Skidmore. Gets the handball. Now a kick. Got a man loose. They go forward. The Cannons need a mark. Oh, good work in defence. Karmas gets the handball, looking for Ham. Back to Karmas. Now they're under a bit of pressure. Shrug a tackle. Kick out wide. Wynn takes it over the boundary line, out of bounds on the full. Half forward flank, freeway side of the ground.
That wind has shifted completely. So when we started, you were looking at the breeze blowing across the ground to the far right pocket from the club rooms at Rams Arena. It's now blowing into the closer left forward pocket, so towards where the second oval is here. So making it very tough for the Cannons going forward.
Benaki's kick inboard is cut off. Jets take the mark on half back. Stooldryer sends it towards the outer side. Awkward bouncing ball. Lant chasing after it. Keeps it in front of himself. Gathers, composes. Lant, shot on goal. Gets it.
Tell you what, we're seeing some terrific goal kicking today in windy conditions. The accuracy for goals absolutely excellent. That's his first goal. And the Cannons get the first 2 of the third term, 6-3-39. They trail by 5 on the NG scoreboard, 7-2-44 the Western Jets, and we're 4.5 minutes in on the Technica time clock.
Finished third in the state under 1,500 metres 3 or 4 years ago now, Dylan Lance. So And you can see it on show when he sprints away from opponents like that. As soon as he gathered the footy, there was no way he was going to be caught.
Brother, a fairly handy footballer too for the Sunbury Lions.
Essendon do to Stars this year, actually, and yeah, going
Right,
pretty
is
well
too,
in
yes.
in the EDFL. I think they missed finals, but I believe Jack kicked about 40 goals or so in his debut EDFL season. So spot on there, Matt.
Butters kicks out wide. Connor Tharr. Like Connor's work, good work ethic, plenty of run. Kicks up forward, looking for the big fella in Sherry. He was met with unfairly by Mason Fletcher. Cop one down the front. And Tristan Sherry to take the resultant free kick. Looking to lay it off to Connor Tharr. Put him under a little bit of pressure. He kicks forward. Man in front. Couldn't quite get it. Now lovely tackle by Colucci. They win the footy. Back to fire brace. They're in a bit of Barney rubble. Bolter. Pajaski underneath. Now it's trapped under a pile of players. Umpire will come in and ball it up.
Been really impressed by Alex Burris today. Flew again in that pack, and he's only listed at 189 centimetres, but just watching him, it feels like he plays a lot taller than that. He plays almost as a second key forward for the Jets.
Suter. Forward.
Here he is again.
That's the boy we're talking about. Burris. Puts the left footer in, tries to place it, and he places it to perfection. Mark taken by Blake Graham. Graham squares it to the top of the 50. Fogarty. Fogarty got a man on short. Creeps closer. And this is Suter.
I see Burris in that contest against. He's one-on-one with Fletcher, who's 8 centimetres taller than him and has one of the longest reaches in the TAC Cup, yet he still managed to get his hands to it and cause a spill.
Suter's got another shorty, looks for Casa. Casa drops it but takes it. Now they handball backwards. Now it's just a big up and under. The big men fly. In front is Tharr, might have been interfered with. Rudick can't get it. Now eventually they clear it, the Cannons. It's a chaos footy. It could bounce anywhere, and it does. Moulder's got it. Looks to hand it off to Kumis. Across to Suter. Bouncing footy. Puts his head over. Gets tackled. Driven into the dirt. Umpire will come in and ball it up. Good full beard on Blake Suter. Don't see too many beards in the under-18s. Beards and tattoos are a rarity. And a free kick in the ruck. Play on, they say. Eventually they clear it through Browning. Bouncing footy. Got a chance here. Tackled. Handball. Had to handball that one sitting down on the ground. Now it's another chaos ball inside 50. Nice defence from the Jets. Just puts the boot on the ball on the boot. Kicks it into the middle. It's going to come back from whence it came. Long kick on goal. That's a goal. And that is Colucci or Riccardi. They look alike. Riccucci or Colati.
Just combine the two.
Colucci gets the goal, and that's the third for the quarter, and the lead is back to the Calder Cannons. 7-3-45 on the NG scoreboard. 7-2-44 the Western Jets. Just ticked past 8 minutes on the Technica time clock.
Considering how difficult this breeze is, we've now had 14 goals, 5 kicked for the game, and as you mentioned, some pretty nice goals as well. So the skills when we've gone inside attacking 50 have been pretty impressive from both sides.
Ball back in the middle. Cannons fumbled it, lost it, and then Musa wraps up Rudick, and we'll get a ball up just on the edge of the centre circle, slightly favouring the Western Jets, kicking into the breeze in this third term. Rudick might have been held. The umpire calls play on. Jets try and extract it. Musa again applies the clamps. And we'll get a ball up. Suter getting off the bottom of the pack for the Jets. Still on the edge of the centre circle here at Rams Arena. Umpire puts it back into the air. Young coming through. Stripped the tackle. Chips it inside attacking 50. Looking for Casa. Gets a kind bounce. He's under pressure immediately, though, from Riccardi. Spins around, pops it up in the Burris direction. Benaki tried to claim the mark. The umpire said there were other hands to it. He had to get the quick kick away. Ball comes to the deck. Ruddick coming through. Fed the handball out. Burris again. Work it by hand. Here's Suter. Bobbling ball. And eventually Kalutzi ends up with it for the Cannons. Flicks the handball over the top. Centre half back. The kick smothered. Turned over. Jets to go back inside attacking 50 through Young. High ball. Good mark. Football. Taken by Sherry. 20 metres out directly in front.
Just too big and too strong. And when he gets in a one-on-one contest, there's probably not too many defenders that are going to feel fairly comfortable standing next to Tristan Sherry. And just on that occasion, Gallant just was caught out for size, and Sherry used his body to perfection there to give himself first position and earn the Jets a shot on what would be their third goal against the Breeze, and would be a chance to reclaim the lead.
So Sherry comes in. Right foot kick on its way. It's high up into the Breeze and it's well to the right. Just a minor score for the Western Jets. 7-3-45. Play 7-3-45 here at Rams Arena. All square on the NG scoreboard. 11 minutes in to the third term on the Technica time clock. Benaki takes it in the back pocket. Flicks onto the right boot. High ball. Doesn't sit kindly for anyone. Walsh chasing after it under a bit of pressure. Turns the ball over. Jets with the numbers. Hitch tried to sell the candy. Got dumped in the turf by Bolter. Open an opportunity for Firebrace. Browning sent the handball inboard. Just missed Walsh. And the Jets are able to repel off half back. The kick into no man's land. There will be a downfield free kick for the Jets player being dealt with after he got rid of the kick.
Yeah, Firebrace just put down Crawford after he got rid of the ball, and they'll be disappointed, the Cannons, because they had three players waiting to pick that ball up and boot it inside 50.
Long ball from the Jets. Kasser in front spot, flicks the handball out to Young, half forward flank broadcast side, gets stripped of the footy, and the ball through an errant handball goes over the boundary line and out of play.
Just in front of the stand here in the rooms. Ball to be thrown in. 45 apiece, 12 minutes into the third quarter, anyone's game. Kasser. I like Kasser. Gets it across, handball errant. Suter getting into the match in this quarter. It's all wrapped up.
I hope a photographer got a photo there with Ty Browning going at Darcy Kasser, because they had two of the better haircuts in the TAC Cup, those two.
Absolutely. Bit of holding and big. Got some big units in the Western Jets. Gee, if they drive through McDonald's on the way home, they'll eat them out of house and home.
And that's without Volkanovski in the side.
Yeah. Sherry, talking of big units, can't quite take it, but gets the handball out in the pack. Little kick out, Benaki. He gets collared. Now Burris puts it up. Fletcher and Graham. Graham trying to keep it in, and he can't. Goes over the boundary line, out of bounds. I was just looking for that Inspector Gadget Fletcher fist to go in and punch that through.
He's floating around, Dustin. Spotted him at half time. Him and Scotty West are down having a chat with Emma Quayle, formerly of The Age and now a recruiter at the GWS Giants, here having a look.
Up they go. Oh, collared high. It'll be a free kick to the Cannons, and it's Taylor. Lovely long kick. Kicks to the middle of the ground. Big Noah takes a good, strong, contested grab, and he kicks at an absolute mile inside 50. Pretty hard one to mark as it drops. We're still inside 50. Hitch gets it away by hand. Now Karmas draws a man, feeds off the handball. Fogarty kicks up. He's got Blake Graham loose. He's just outside 50. He can just stroll inside. It's a nice long kick. Can anyone mark it? Kasser at the back, falling off. Oh, now they've got a chance, the Cannons. One bounce, two bounce. Long kick along centre wing. Browning. Oh, he gets caught, slung, didn't have the footy. He'll get the resultant free kick. Just forward of centre wing. Goes in short. Bernacki starting to impose himself on the game.
He should have a shot here, Bolter, if he's smart about it. Probably kick from 55, but no worries with the distance.
Well within the distance. Noah Bolter, he's gone back like DK Lilly.
Those that saw the highlights will remember he kicked one from next to the centre circle at Preston City Oval.
He did
with the breeze a few weeks ago, so can hoof a ball.
Dirty day, Tim. We don't bring that one up. Noah Bolter comes in. He's inside the square. He launches. It is the best out of bounds on the full I've seen all season. Didn't register a score, but he's kicked out an absolute mile again. Western Jets to take the free kick. We are 45 apiece, 15 minutes into the third quarter.
Just looks like Luke Hitch is the man wearing John Luke Valasaris now after he kicked that first goal in the opener of this quarter, which is a pretty smart move if the Jets have sent one of their really strong small backs, John Luke Valasaris' way.
So ball at half back, the Cannons try and work it by hand. Oh, it's come off the boot, and it's out on the full. Free kick to go the way of the Western Jets. Unfortunately there, came off Taylor's boot. So the Jets on half back, trying to set something up down this broadcast side. Long kick into the breeze. It holds up. It's going to fall short. Good contest made there from Rice. Brought the ball to ground. Handball flicked out of the contest in favour of Skidmore. Centering ball for the Calder Cannons. On the lead, unable to take it is Lant. And ball is wrapped up in the hands of Stooldryer at centre half back for the Western Jets. Still level here at Rams Arena, 7:3:45 apiece on the NG scoreboard, 16 and a half minutes in on the Technica time clock. Jets clearing ball, back into the middle. They have numbers if they can work it by hand. They can't. Skidmore intercepts, sends the ball wide. Now a low one inside, attacking 50, and a great mark taken by Valasaris, lining up for goal number 5.
That gave Hitch absolutely no chance. What a bullet pass coming inside 50 to hit up Valasaris, who was just demanding the footy, and he's been such a focal point for the Cannons. He's snatched a couple out of packs, a couple of opportunistic goals, but a chance to go back and open a 6-point advantage here for Calder as it looks to get a bit of a gap in the last 8 minutes of the third quarter.
Valasaris comes in. Kicks it just inside the 50-yard. Goal umpire does not move much. And 5 goals now to Valasaris. Cannons lead it by 6 points. 8:3:51 play, 7:3:45 on the NG scoreboard. 17 and a half minutes in on the Technica time clock. Tim, what do they need by margin going into three-quarter time, the Cannons?
Well, you think the way that the Jets piled on the goals in that second quarter, the breeze has swung slightly, and who knows if it's going to drop between now and the end of the game. You'd suggest that there probably will be some change in the strength of it as well. But you'd think 3 goals, probably at a minimum. I thought 2 or 3 maybe, but ideally 4 or 5, which is going to be a tough ask.
Bernacki by hand. Gets it across to Evans. Looking for Firebrace. He's got front position. Not going to be easy. Bentley. Kicks to centre half forward. It holds up in the breeze. Quick hands by Graham to Fogarty. Kicks to the top of the square. Casa. The ball drops. Riccardi looks forward. Picks out a man. Evans after it. Under a heap of pressure. Karmas coming the other way. Oof, blimey, Teddy. Now Manton. Sweeping handball to Conather. He's got a bit of time. Does a little bit of a back pedal. Kicks into the middle to Stooldryer. By hand to Suter. He's collared too high. Needed to go low and hard, not high and hard. And Blake Suter.
That could have been anything, couldn't it, Crooksy? Jack Evans, pretty solidly built bottom-age player running at Karmas. And if he hadn't stepped out of the way, he might have been knocked into next week.
Now there's a tackle. We're bang on centre wing. Ball to be thrown up. Getting into the shadows of three-quarter time. Jets Bit of an underground pass, bouncing. And the ball goes over the boundary line, out of bounds, into the dugout for the Cannons. Almost knocking the magnets everywhere. Just a young boundary umpire there. Beautiful throw-in too, lovely work. Both ruckmen hit the deck. Benaki looks after it. Oh, good footy. Both kept their eye on the footy. Sherry, little handball, back where we started from. Rudick just sees it over again. 5 minutes before the break. Cannons could do with a couple more goals here.
Wouldn't you just stick Noah Bolter on the ball now for a 5-minute burst and try and maybe get a couple of goals out of him or even some clearances?
Mark taken by Pajaski. Oh, play on, Mitch. Gets it across to Jonah. Caught holding the ball is Ismail Musa.
That's happened 3 or 4 times today where they've tried that quick play on, have looked up, seen nothing, and then handballed 3 or 4 times, and the Jets have converged and been able to lay a tackle and turn the footy over.
Musa goes in short, clever kick. Loose checking by the Cannons. And
if we had that percentage on the chances of this being a goal, I think it would almost be negative. With the breeze blowing across the ground, O'Halloran's going to go back and have a shot. He's obviously pretty game because he's going to kick from outside 50 with the breeze blowing into his face, and there's every chance this will just land at the top of the goal square and cause a contest, I would think.
Funny old approach. He's given it a fair old crack. He's got it to the 10-metre square, which is pretty good effort from where he was. Pack of players. It spits out the back. Fogarty gets it. He's on his knees. Gets a handball away. Now fire brace. He's caught underneath it. And I thought Cecil B. de Spielberg had brought a heater. He's getting that cold, but it's not a heater. As the ball is thrown up. Fogarty on the left boot. And the Cannons didn't want that one. Great goal by Lockie Fogarty. And that ties the game up. 8-3, 51 apiece on the NG scoreboard. 22 minutes in on the Technica time clock.
Yeah, pretty costly one there for Calder, and big blow landed by the Jets on the last couple of minutes of this third quarter. The Jets look to stay in touch, and they well and truly have done that in this third quarter. They've played pretty impressively, although Calder have strung together a couple of goals and managed to put a few on the board early in the term. The Jets have kept it to 51 points apiece here, and Lockie Fogarty is such an important player for the Jets throughout 2017, landing a big blow there.
Just like the third term, they've been able to wrestle a little bit of momentum in the closing stages. There's the Cannons on half-back through Evans. High ball back in towards the middle. Taking the mark is Taylor. Wants to move it quickly inside attacking 50. Wasn't the best of options as Karmas takes the mark. Being good in defence for the Jets. Buku Karmas brings the ball wide to Mould. Back pocket broadcast side as a target over the top. And taking the mark here is Razanovsky. Hoping I got that correct. Half-back line for the Jets. High ball, Karmas underneath it. Got a hand to it, brought it in. Footyprofit.com mark of the day contender from Buku Karmas. Up against the boundary line. Slapped it into his own hands. High ball towards the centre wing. Ball comes off hands. Young coming through. Couldn't get a clean position. Now Walsh gets it across to Huggard. Just whacks it on the boot in hope. Bolter juggling it. Composes. Kicks it inside. Attacking 50 for the Calder Cannons. Again though, just offline. One bounce and out of play. Will throw it in.
Looked like he just didn't realise how much time he had there, Noel Bolter, because immediately after putting on the afterburners, he gave himself a metre in front of Sherry, and if he'd just maybe taken a bounce and gone for another 5 metres or so, he would have almost been within scoring distance and been able to compose himself that bit more.
Ball thrown in. Cannons might get one here. Dribbling
Crooksy.
through.
That's Velasaris again. That's six for the number 6.
6 goals for Jean-Luc Velasaris. And a much-needed one for the Cannons. They move on to 9-3-57. Excellent kicking.
3 of his 6 have come in almost identical fashion. Ball thrown in. He sharked a pack, and then seemingly from nothing, thrown the boot on the ball and been able to work it through the goals. So he's done extremely well to kick 6 of the Cannons' 9 goals. And when the ball hits the deck, especially in those clearance situations, he's given the Jets all sorts of headaches.
Back in the middle, up she goes. Sherry gets the tap out. Rosie's own tap work. Lays off the handball as the siren sounds. 3/4 time here at Rams. 9-3-57 the Calder Cannons. The Western Jets are 8-3-51. The goal kickers.
6 goals to Velasaurus, as we were just talking about. Singles to Land, Bolter and Kalutzi for the Cannons. And for the Western Jets, 2 to Burris, to Riddick, Suter, Butters, Fogarty, Rice and Sherry.
We've got the close one. Keep it locked on the TAC Cup website live stream if you're watching us, or the Reds Time Sport app if you are listening to us. We'll be back on the other side of this for all the last quarter action.
Essendon captain Goddard settles.
The Knights and TAC Cup Radio. For all your workwear, head down to Cowboys Cash and Carry, Unit 1, 169 Settlement Road, Thomastown. High-vis long and short sleeve work shirts, just $5. Expect to pay triple elsewhere. High-vis wind cheaters in fluoro orange or yellow, just $8. Sizes all the way up to 5XL. If you mention this ad, they'll throw in a 3-pack of work socks free. Cowboys Cash and Carry, Unit 1, 169 Settlement Road, Thomastown. Proudly supporting TAC Cup Radio.
The Red Time Sport iPhone app is here and ready to download. The app allows you to listen to the different sports BPM media broadcasts wherever you are in the world, including VFL and TAC Cup Radio and a whole lot more. You can interact with the commentary team in real time via the Red Time Sport iPhone app feedback and social networking buttons. Plus check out upcoming broadcasts. Catch up with the latest sports headlines from around the world via the Sports News button. The Red Time Sport iPhone app. Download it from the iTunes Store today. Visit bpmmedia.com.au for more details.
TAC Cup Radio has its own Facebook page. You can find it by searching for TAC Cup Radio. Like the page and be kept up to date with everything that's happening in this year's TAC Cup season. Have your say on any topic, including the best on ground and the players making their mark on the competition. You can also find the Twitter handles for our commentary team so you can interact during the match. They all love talking about the next thing in TAC Cup footy, and you can let them know your opinion. TAC Cup Radio on Facebook. Like it now. FootyProfit.com is your go-to for everything AFL online, including some of the best under-18s coverage across Australia. The site has phantom drafts, player scout reports, predictions and expert analysis on your favourite players. Footy Profit is committed to covering the AFL draft and as a key sponsor of TAC Cup Radio provides first-class analysis and opinion. Readers are flooding to FootyProfit.com to stay up to date with everything they need to know about the TAC Cup and the AFL draft. It's time you found out what all the fuss is about. Visit footyprofit.com. Nixon Finance has been running in the Plenty Valley area of Greensborough for over 20 years. As your financial consultants and brokers, they specialise in all your equipment and vehicle finance needs. Home loans, business loans, commercial property loans. They deal with all the banks and get the right loan that suits your needs. Call Phil Smith during business hours on 9435 2600 or email nixonfinance@bigpond.com.
On taccup.com.au and the Red Time Sport iPhone app, this is TAC Cup Radio.
Welcome back to Rams Arena. We're at 3/4 time. The Calder Cannons 9-3-57 lead the Western Jets 8-3-51. But the Jets will be kicking with a 3 to 4 goal breeze in this final term. And they've probably been the more attacking side throughout the course of the morning / afternoon here at Rams Arena.
10 to 1 local Eastern or local time. Not Eastern. Well, I was going to say Eastern summertime, whatever it is. It promises to be a good last quarter, doesn't it? Who knows? The wind. Yeah, no, it's still pretty strong. You can see those trees down at the southern end of the ground. They're certainly bending back in that direction, aren't they?
It's definitely switching though. 1 minute it's blowing into the outer pocket, the next it's blowing into this broadcast pocket, which makes things a little bit difficult. But you'd think, considering the Cannons probably needed to kick 3 goals towards the end of that term, and the Jets were able to stop that. And kicking with the breeze in this final term, you'd think they've got the upper hand going into this last quarter.
Yeah, and it's a big, what it is for a lot of these boys out there, or probably half on both teams. It's their last quarter of TAC Cup football in their life. You don't get another chance. You know, you're only in it for a couple of years, so it's a bit of a, it's a big one.
And for most of them, the last opportunity to make an impact prior to the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. As poor old Ian Kites had a full knee reconstruction. He's going to crack that joke. He's walking with a pronounced limp. That's L-I-M-P, pronounced limp. Terrible joke. As the players get back into position. Good crowd here this morning, Matto, too, isn't there?
Very, very healthy crowd. Probably, even though we've double letters and the triple letter a couple of weeks ago, I reckon this is probably the best crowd of the year that I've seen here at Rams Arena. Of course,
certainly.
2 sides from the Western Quadrant, if you could call it that. Bit of a local derby.
And we'll get the word from the huddle, Tim.
From the Jets coach, Torrin Baker, use the ball on the far side of the ground as much as possible. They want to attack and try and make the most of that breeze in the last quarter. Pretty simple stuff, really. Don't overpossess it. Try and get it forward as quickly as possible. For the Cannons, the coach, Andrew Johnson, pretty much said you've got 25 minutes left together as a group. Try and make the most of it and finish the season off positively.
So last quarter action, take it away, Matto.
Kalutsi sent the ball towards half forward for the Cannons, mould through traffic, got a kick back towards the half forward flank now for the Western Jets. Ball's going to be turned over again. Cannons with the numbers. A clearing kick comes towards our broadcast position, and Browning takes the mark. Centre wing for the Calder Cannons. They lead by 6 points, early stages of the final term. Kick up the line, was searching there for Tilly. But a good fist there applied by Rice sees the ball over the boundary line and out of play. As
we can tell from the flags from our commentary position, that breeze has not died off at all. So still just as strong as it has been throughout the day. And it's probably worth, you'd think, 4 or 5 goals for the Jets. So it's going to be a pretty tough ask for Calder here.
Bolter slapped it down. It's on the deck in dispute. Rice going back in after it. Flicked the handball out to Young. Clearing kick away from the contest. Back in towards the middle. Bouncing ball. Evans chasing after it. Went back to Fletcher. And they've come back inboard to Musa, who's in all sorts of trouble. They've turned the ball over. Opportunity now for O'Halloran. Ball top of the goal square. Hasn't been touched. That's a goal for the Jets to level things up.
Another occasion there where Cannons got the footy, looked up, almost deer in the headlights, didn't know exactly what to do with it, and the Jets made them pay. Their tackle pressure has been relentless when Calder's got the footy today, and that was a really big focus again at 3/4 time from Torrin Baker to keep that same pressure on the Cannons, and once again it's paid dividends for the visitors as they draw level 2 minutes into this last quarter.
Xavier O'Halloran with his first of the afternoon as we tick towards the 2-minute mark of the final term here at Rams Arena. Back underway, Bolter straight to the deck. Fogarty working hard to try and get something out for the Jets. That's support in Stooldryer, who's all wrapped up. And we'll get a ball up. Crooksy.
Just around the grounds up at Mars, up on Mars, the Rebels 12-11-83 defeated the Pioneers 9-8-62 in the final game of the season for both clubs. Ball goes forward again for the Jets. It's a bouncing footy. Butters this way, that way. Just, kicks to Stooldryer. Lowered the eyes. I tell you, for a game, this is 9th versus 10th. And although the Cannons mathematically had a chance of making the 8th, it's pretty difficult. I've been really impressed with the skill level by both teams at certain points in the game. But just their execution's been excellent in windy conditions. Stool dryer, 45-degree angle. He'll kick from 40 metres out. That is kicking 101. Beautiful kick, Stool dryer. And that is his first for the match. And it is the Jets' 11th. Is it 10th? 10-3-63. They lead it by a goal. 9-3-57 the Cannons. NG scoreboard. 3.5 minutes in. Technica time clock.
So Jets finished 10th last year with 5 wins, so they'll eclipse that and finish higher if they get a win here today, which they put themselves in a pretty handy position to do. And after finishing 14th in 2015 as well, they will have captured 4 more wins this year than that year as well. So certainly this group's done pretty well from results achieved in recent years.
Long ball after a free kick was awarded in the ruck contest for too high. Cannons chip it inside, attacking 50, and that's Fletcher that has it.
Ooh,
up against the boundary line. Done a bit of a switcheroo in the final term. Tight angle kicking into the breeze. Jets getting the numbers back on the goal line. Fletcher comes in. Drop punt, floats across the face. The rise there coming from Tilly. It's punched through for a minor score.
The Cannons have now got 3 points kicking into the breeze, whereas the Jets have kicked 3 goals to that end. So bit of a difference between the scoring at that end of the ground.
Long kick back into play by Hitch. Fletcher fists the ball to ground. Cannons will come back inside, attacking 50. And they've spotted up a target here in Taylor. Probably a little too far out.
Harris.
And why wouldn't you kick it to him?
Demanding the footy he has been.
Well, he kicked to Taylor and then just took off. No one went with him. He had acres of space, and I think as soon as Taylor saw him, he went, he's running hot. Might as well give him another crack for goal number 7.
And they're first into the breeze. The Grand Boulevard end of Rams Arena.
In that third quarter, Matt, a shot from about 20 metres out, probably 10 metres closer than this shot, barely made it over the goal line. So he'll be doing pretty well if he manages to get this through.
Comes in, right foot kick on its
Look
way.
at
It's
that.
kept low. That's a great goal there from Valasaris for goal number 7.
What a great kick, Crooksy. Instead of floating it up and giving the breeze time to bring the footy back, just drilled it as low as possible without getting the ball touched, and got goal number 7. So the Cannons back in front, and maybe this game does have a bit of life.
Great goal there, Jean-Luc. 6 minutes into the last quarter. Umpire's got it. Up she goes. Sherry and Bolter. Taylor got grabbed. Oh, could have got a free kick there. Colucci kicks it to half forward. Intercept with the old don't argue by Mould. That was holding the ball, umpire. As the Cannons get it out, fire brace. Keeps the ball in front of him. Now he loses it to Skidmore, and no one's got it. Ball to be tossed up right in front of us here. Clears the way out. Riccardi tries to get a bit of position. There's a whistle on play from the umpire off the ball, and Riccardi takes the resultant free kick. Can they get 2 within a couple of minutes, the Cannons? Little dinky kick out wide to Pajaski. Bit of Ringa-Rosie stuff. It's the Cannons, centre wing. Go in short to Riccardi. It's intercepted by Sherry. He'll thump it, and he thumps a dirty big barrel inside 50. Goes over the top, bouncing footy. Butters runs after it. Dirty old bounce. Oh, look at this, Burris. He almost did a do-si-do with the point post. And it goes through for a behind. Scores a level here at Rams, 10-4, 64 apiece. 7.5 minutes in on the Technica time clock. Maddo.
You're right, Crooks. He almost used that post really well. He was heading out with momentum, bounced himself back into play with the post, and then got pushed through.
Riccardi takes the mark from the kick in. Kicks the ball inboard to Colucci. Half-back flank for the Cannons. Brings the ball wide. Benaki takes it. He'll chip it short. Good quick movement here from the Calder Cannons. Firebrace wheels around immediately. Wants to send the ball inboard. It's too hot though for Caluzzi. Good tackle though by Jesse Firebrace. Causes the turnover. Ball at half forward. Both Firebrace brothers hovering here on the deck. They just try and soccer it towards the boundary line. Jets composed off half back, kick it into a bit of space. Riccardi leads the race, collects it cleanly, but's under pressure. Dances around traffic beautifully. Chip kick over the top, hits up Benaki. Benaki sends the ball inside, attacking 50 for the Cannons. Coming late to the contest was Scholl.
Good decision.
And a free kick to go the way of the Jets, and it will be Manton to take it on half back.
Oscar Manton directs a bit of traffic and then just sinks the slipper to centre wing. Up they go, off the hands of O'Halloran. Now Benaki to Firebrace. He takes off, one bounce, draws a man and
Oh.
Space was the enemy. Boundary line beat him, but it was a lovely move. As the ball gets thrown in front of a protected crowd in the seats in the front of the stand.
Of course, a talented family, the Firebraces. One a Eurovision competitor and the other two playing TAC Cup footy. Isaiah is a cousin, I believe, Crooksy, of the two Calder boys.
Up they go, and there's a whistle on play here, and it's a free kick to the Western Jets as Noah Bolter had the ball in hand.
Waiting to see who it, I thought
Karmas.
It might have been Karmas in that contest. No, it just tried to hold him out, and he wasn't able to get a run at it, Karmas, so that's what the free kick's been given for, Crooksy.
Karmas, lovely long kick. We know what the instructions been. Kick long with the wind. Mark, intercept mark taken by Ben Huggard. His ball has been caught in the wind. It goes up. Tilly can't quite take it. Now Fogarty. This will be a chaos footy. It goes over the back. The race is on. Cannons leading the race to it. Walsh tackles. Still gets the handball away to Pajaski. Close to the boundary line. Huggard. Boundary umpire caught short a little bit there. As the Cannons, Benaki plays on. Kicks along the boundary and spots up Aidan Tilly. Marks it bang on centre wing.
I can't buy this argument that people seem to have about Brad Benaki, that his kicking efficiency is what lets him down and why he's not a draft prospect. He's used the ball as well as anyone today.
Fogarty kicks long. Again, it's over the back. The race is on again. Butters gets caught, collared, driven into the dirt. And the umpire said throwing the ball.
It was one or the other. It was either in the back or holding the ball. And Mitch Padhadji might have got away with one there.
You're very, very diplomatic, Tim. He might have got away with one. The ball is squared to the other side of the ground. They go lateral, the Cannons. Now short. Gonna send it back from whence it came. Walsh. Walsh comes right across the ground. It's got too many legs over the boundary line, out of bounds. Back pocket. City, southern end of the ground. Scores are level, 64 apiece as we approach the 12-minute mark of the last quarter.
And can't you see there that determination from the Cannons to try and keep the ball out this clubroom side of the ground as much as possible and just make it hard for the Jets to attack if they do cause a turnover.
So ball thrown back into play to the deck. Caluzzi under pressure, got the handball away in time. Benaki seen over the line and out of play. Throw it in forward pocket for the Western Jets. Kicking with the breeze in this final term. As it's tossed back into play. Riccardi won it down. Ball top of the goal square though for the Jets. Boris hovering, goes to ground. Cannons appealing for holding. They won't get it. We'll get a ball up. 20 metres out from goal, directly in front for the Western Jets. Scores are tied at the moment on the NG scoreboard. Approaching the 13-minute mark of the final term as Fogarty through traffic, gets the goal. That's his second, and the Jets gets a handy lead. 11-4-70 plays 10-4-64 on the NG scoreboard. 13 minutes in to the final term on the Technica time clock.
And sometimes in these sort of games, close ones where maybe due to conditions as well, that the skills haven't been maybe as pristine as they sometimes are in other games, although the teams have been pretty efficient considering the way that the wind has blown today. A little bit of class makes all the difference, and we saw it there from Lockie Fogarty, just able to find the goals and give the Jets a handy little break.
Nice tap out by Walters, but Cannons get the clearing kick. Taylor should be on the end of this, and he is. Plays on straight away. Bolter, long kick forward. They've got front position, and Velasaris tried to con the umpire there. Benaki dispossessed. Now the Jets, just a good tumbler. Goes to centre wing. The ball just bounces on end. Jonah Horrow can't quite get it. Burris and sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. First real error that Velasaris has made today. His teammate had first purchase on that and just knocked it out of his hands. But good effort to try and win the mark back. Suter, good hands to Fogarty. He kicks it to a dangerous spot. The big men fly. Good mark. Taken in the last line of defence by Mitch Podjaski. He kicks along the boundary line. It's all Burris. He'll fancy himself from here. And not that I could go out there and show you how to do it, but it's not as hard as what it looks. Just needs to kick this to the top of the goal square.
10 minutes to play. You would think if the Jets kick the next one, it's going to be pretty tough for Calder to come back from that position.
Burris does just about what I said.
He listened to you.
And touched on the line. Handy point. 11-5-71. They lead by 7, the Jetters. 10-4-64, the Cannons. 15.5 minutes in.
50 metres against Burris.
Oh, here we go.
So the Jets and Cannons played 2 games last year. First was decided by 2 points to the Jets. The second by 7 points to the Cannons. So traditionally they do finish in fairly close contests, although the Jets got the Cannons by 31 points when they met early this season.
Fletcher across half back. Goes out wide. They'll want to come back in. That was Musa. Didn't hit up his teammate. Now Suter over the top to Fogarty. Runs inside 50. Handball over the top. Chasing after it is Sherry. Stops, props, kicks the goal.
Did a bit of a Joey Montagna there.
That's his second. And the Jets have made things very difficult for the Cannons now. 12-5-77 the Western Jets. Calder 10-4-64 on the NG scoreboard. 16.5 minutes into the final term on the Technica time clock.
The Cannons has persisted with that plan all day to try and get the ball back into the centre of the ground and use the corridor as much as possible, but probably on almost 7 or 8 occasions out of 10 the skills have let them down, or the Western Jets have been able to cause a turnover in the centre of the ground and create a forward opportunity themselves out of a missed kick.
Bolter out of the middle, quick kick. Colucci, handball. Bolter, left foot, kicks inside 50, looking for Lant. Quick, needs to take the footy with him. Now Bentley for the Jets. Lant, oh, he gets collared by 2. Now Bentley has got it. Sweeping handball to Fogarty. Fogarty on the right boot, kicks to 50. Comes off the hands of the pack. Cannons have got the numbers. They need to keep the footy. Need to be clean. A lot of pressure up the back. Podjaski over the top. Good run. Take a bounce. Gonna get collared. Dispossessed. Jets can't win the ball back yet. It is underneath a few. Umpire will come in and bounce the footy.
Hasn't Fogarty lifted in this last 5 minutes or so? It's just almost like he's sensed the moment that the Jets needed someone to really take control of this game. He kicked that goal, then gave the handball over the top to Sherry for him to run in, and then was also involved about a minute ago. So having a big impact.
Back inside 50 for the Western Jets, and it is over the boundary line and out of bounds. 7 minutes remaining in this match. 13 points the difference. One more and it'll be an absolute sealer for the Jets. In she comes. Sherry's got front position. They bring it down. Benaki gets off his knees, then driven into the dirt. And the umpire says holding the ball. Tough call for mine. And Tristan Sherry will take the resultant free kick. Got to give our votes too, boys, for the Nixon Finance Player of the Day. That'll be a difficult one, but I've got a feeling this boy might feature in a few votes. Not trying to prejudice the jury, but he'll be in my votes. I reckon he's had a great game, Tristan Sherry. He is going to kick this footy from 42 metres out. He'll be on a 60-degree angle. He just goes past 50 now, kicks, and hits the goalpost smack central. It's another behind. They move it on to 12-6-78. They lead by 14, 10-4, 64.
Yeah, you would think the Jets are home now with a 14-point lead, but if they'd been able to finish that, probably fair to say, guys, that would have just about been the cherry on top for what has been a good performance from the Jets. That appears to have just gone straight over your head, Crooksy. Tristan Cherry, cherry on top. You looked puzzled there with what I was on about for a second.
Fogarty kicks it inside, attacking 50 again for the Western Jets.
Working on that for about 90 seconds before I said it too.
We're used to that.
Everyone just straight over.
We're used to working with the absolute corn that Rick comes out with. So we all tune out, Tim. We're not used to your razor sharp champagne comedy.
That was a little too intelligent humour there from you, Tim. As the ball's now worked its way to half forward. It's cut off though by the Jets. They'll kick it back in towards the middle. Taking the mark here has been Rice. Brings the ball out wide. Has Casa by himself, just bounced off his chest. Now Benaki wearing him like a glove. Casa slipped over, kept the ball in play, gets it to Karmas, who fumbled. Now has supporting O'Halloran. Spins around, ball top of the 50-metre arc for the Western Jets. Bounce awkwardly for Crawford. He keeps it in play as well. Cannons with the numbers around. The handball flicked inboard to Firebrace, trying to shake off Butters. Got the handball across to Riccardi to Fletcher. Back again, looking for Firebrace. Has Musa for support. Jets able to get the turnover though. The big men combining. Burris flicked the handball to Sherry on half forward, and up and under goes into the hands of Firebrace, who kicks it to his brother. Couldn't take the mark on the centre wing outer side. Mould fighting in after it for the Western Jets. Got stripped to the ball. Cannons take the advantage through Lant. Runs down the outer wing, takes a couple of bounces, runs to 60, puts it inside, attacking 50. Taylor coming in, can't take the mark. On the deck, soccering it off the ground. It's offline. And a minor score coming there from Taylor. Cannons move to 10-5-65. They trail the Western Jets. 12-6-78 on the NG scoreboard. Young takes the mark inside defensive 50 for the Jets.
Young, nicely placed kick, and the mark is taken there by Razanovsky. Razanovsky kicks into the centre of Rams Arena. The big men fly, goes over the back. That's happened a few times today. Butters, he's been good. He just pops it up for Conather. He has a long pop at goal to the left, through for a behind. 12-7-79 to 10-5-65 on the NG scoreboard. As
both these teams should feature prominently on draft night. We'll come back to that shortly as Mason Fletcher plays on.
And Fletcher goes inboard. Casa intercepts and puts it to the right. Another behind. 12-8-80 to 10-5-65.
We've got Cam Rayner, who not playing today, but talked about as a possible #1 draft pick from the Western Jets. Also, Lockie Fogarty, a very handy player. Mitch Petajski and Noah Bolter both off to the National Combine from the Cannons, so plenty of names to watch for a bit later on this season as well from these two teams.
We saw Rayner here a couple of weeks ago against the Northern Knights, and he was just terrific as Manton has a flying shot that'll be out of bounds on the full.
Well, he hasn't played an AFL game, and he's been compared to a player that's just earned himself a potential $1.5 million a year contract with the Tigers. So that goes to show the esteem that he's held in, Crooksy.
And like physically does look like him. If he even the haircut's very similar. Doesn't have a lot of.
Well, he must have known when he went to get that haircut what comparisons were going to come off the back of it.
As the Cannons through Colucci. Oh, didn't go with the footy. Had a bit of backup there by hand. Now O'Halloran for the Jets. Intercepts. Puts a handball out wide. Now Suter. Suter kicks inside 50 and the mark is taken for the Western Jets. And
might end up kicking after the siren here, Crooksy, to end the season with a goal.
This is Fogarty. He has been good. He was very impressive the other week. We saw him here when Ian Rayner.
Clearly the best player on the ground in this last quarter. And a chance to kick 2 for the term.
Sharp angle. He'll kick from about 40 metres. Comes in, kicks. Did that with a minimum of fuss.
Got it.
Good work. Third goal for Lockie Fogarty. Good return for the day. And Fogarty puts the Western Jets 13-8-86. They lead by 21 over the Calder Cannons, 10-5. 65.
Siren just about to sound here at Rams Arena, but it will be a 6th win of the TAC Cup season for the Western Jets. Their best result since 2014 when they played TAC Cup finals. So, as you will have heard, a siren in the background, and the Jets running out 13-8-86 to 10-5. 65 winners in their final game of the TAC Cup season against the.
And the goal kickers for the Cannons, 7. You hear me right. The second week in a row I've seen someone kick 7 goals. Jean-Luc Valasaris, and 1 each to Dylan Lant, Noah Bolter and Ben Colucci. And for the victors, the Western Jets, 3 to Lockie Fogarty, 2 each to Tristan Sherry and Alex Burris, and 1 apiece to Tristan Rudick, Blake Suter, Zach Butters, Nicholas Stooldryer, Xavier O'Halloran, Jaden Rice. We've sent Maddo out on the ground. You would have heard earlier that the Rebels have had a win against the Pios up in Mars Stadium today.
The other progress score from Ballarat, Crooksy, is Eastern Rangers 3-1-19 with a 10-point lead over Oakley 1-3-9, but it is early going in that second game up in Ballarat today.
There would have been a bit of breeze there just as we wait for the players. Good luck. You've got your brother playing for Barwon Heads today, is that right?
Yeah, preliminary final today down in the Ballerine Footy League, so that'll start in about 40-45 minutes or so. And the last time Barwon Heads played in the grand final, Crooksy, my old man played. So, and here that was in 1993.
That's all right.
So there'd be a nice bit of family lineage there if Luke was able to play in the first grand final for Barwon Heads for 24 years, which potentially might happen next week against Geelong Amos.
Good luck. Now out on the ground for footyprofit.com.au is Matthew Cox, and he's with Lachlan Fogarty.
Yeah, with Lockie, mate. Good performance there to finish off the season for the Western Jets.
Yeah, we knew we weren't going to make finals, but yeah, for this last game we wanted to finish off on a good note, and even better, a few top ages are done now. It's probably 7 of us, so it was good to get the win.
Season overall, from your perspective, even though you're not going to make finals, how do you see it?
I think we started off the year pretty average, but as the year went on, we developed. We got a pretty young list, so those kids were getting better and better, and I think we finished off the season really well.
What about your own performance over the course of 2017?
I think I've had a consistent year. That's probably been my main focus, just trying to impact every possible game. But yeah, it's been an enjoyable year. I've loved it.
And in today's game, it felt like you rose to the occasion when the game was on the line early in that final term. You started to get your hands a bit more on the footy and kicked a couple of goals, which is nice.
Yeah, I felt I needed to step up in the last quarter. I probably wasn't playing my best in the first half, so yeah, it was good to get on the end of a couple.
What do the next couple of months look like for yourself?
Because we're not in finals, just going to be preparing for the combine, so lots of training and running training. So yeah, that's the main focus.
All right, well, all the best with the draft coming up, and congratulations on a good season.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks.
Good on you, Maddo. And see if you can cut one more from the pack for us, if you can. As maybe send, that's what we do. Like, that's one of Rick's tricks. He always, he's not quick enough, so he sends the interviewer to get the second one. Oh, he's getting a bit of a razz up too, the big fella. Out on the ground for footyprofit.com.au. Matthew Cox speaking to big Tristan Sherry.
Good game from you today, Tristan. Started in the ruck, but then moved forward and kicked a couple of goals.
Yeah, it was good. I haven't played as much in the ruck with the Jets as I would have liked, but to get the opportunity to stay and to get a few touches, help the team and get the win, which is always good.
Where do you prefer to play? You got a run on the ball today and then kicked a couple of goals. So where's your favourite spot?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Probably ruck. Getting always involved in the game. So yeah.
Important to finish the season on the high note for the Jets?
Yeah, exactly, especially for some of these younger boys. Getting a win, making one hungry next season is really good. It's great spirits around the club right now, so yeah.
Good to see you got a smile on your face too to finish off 2017.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you, mate.
No worries. Thank you, Tristan.
Good on you, big Tristan.
Tristan
well
just wrapped
done,
that interview up for Matt. I think he just went, I've had enough, thank you. I'm going to go sing the song with the boys now. But great job there from Matty Cox, grabbing two of the better players on the ground today in Tristan Cherry and also Lockie Fogarty from the Western Jets.
He did very well. As before we wrap up, we have to go through, perhaps you could just run through who you thought some of the better players for your beloved Calder Cannons.
Beloved Calder Cannons. Well, clearly John Luke Valasaris was the standout crooksy. 7 goals in a losing side. Was a mighty effort and was dangerous throughout up forward, provided a target in the air, and he was even playing out of the goal square towards the end when he clearly looked like the most dangerous forward for the Cannons. Also was able to kick 3 or 4 goals from crumbing situations as well. So he was very good. I thought the skipper, Brad Benaki, as he has done all year,